soon, and we are being live streamed. Welcome, welcome, and I'm resuming recording. Hi, greetings, welcome everyone. I'm Paul Sugarman, Shakespeare for Everyone. This is the Instant Shakespeare Company, and today we are reading the first part of Henry VI, which is one of the early history plays. Interestingly, it probably wasn't the first Henry VI play he wrote. It's expected he wrote Henry VI Part 2, Part 3, Richard III, and then went back and did Henry I. And also that this is one where they believe it may have been collaborative and other people contributed to it. But there's a lot of fun stuff in it. So before we begin, if we could just get the cast to introduce themselves and at least a smattering of the roles they have, because while there are 8 of us, there are a whole lot more characters than that, about 40 or so in this, because there's a lot of different in these history plays, there are lots of little sort of vignettes with these people, and you go on. But we do also have the famous scene in the garden of the beginning, which leads to the Wars of the Roses. And Derek.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Derek Tarson. I'm playing Richard Plantagenet, later Duke of York, for the French captain and Burgundy.
Okay, and Angus.
Hi, Angus Hepburn from London, reading Lord Talbot and Somerset and messengers and things.
Okay, and Eleanor.
I'm Eleanor Elizabeth Foreman, and I am playing Warwick, Messenger 2, Mayor of London, Bastard of Orleans, Vernon, Glansdale, Warder, Jailer, young John Talbot's son. And is that supposed to be Fiend?
Yes, we all get to be fiends. You'll find out about those later on. Okay, and Jennifer.
I'm Jennifer Finger. I am reading the roles of Exeter, John Lapusel, Salisbury, Sergeant, and Sir John Falstaff.
Okay, and Kitty.
Hi, I'm Kitty Chen. I'm reading the Duke of Bedford, Master Gunner of Orleans, Soldier, Countess of Auvergne, and Bassett. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, we can hear you
okay,
fine.
I can't hear you guys very well.
Okay, well then I think you probably need to adjust something on
yeah, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Okay, and Maren.
Hello, I'm Maren Sugarman from New Jersey, and I will be reading, amongst others, the Bishop of Winchester, later Beaufort, Margaret, Charles the Dolphin, Mortimer Woodville, and Sir William Lucy. I think that's it.
Okay, yeah, and as I said, I'm Paul Sugarman. I'll be reading Messenger, Rainier, Henry VI, other people, Poole, the Earl of Suffolk, and just this is all about enjoying the text and having fun with it. And so on with the first part.
I'm here.
I'm sorry, okay. Jackie.
Hi, I'm Jackie Margolis, and I'm reading The Duke of Gloucester, Protector Allenson, Gunner's Boy, Gargrave, Porter Lawyer, and Papa Legate.
Yes, Papal Legate. Yes, thank you. Sorry about that, Jackie. And but yes, you're very important. Duke of Gloucester is the protector. So, anyways, the first part of Henry VI, Actus Primus, Scena Prima, Dead March. Enter the funeral of King Henry V, attended on by the Duke of Bedford, Regent of France, the Duke of Gloucester, Protector, the Duke of Exeter, Warwick, the Bishop of Winchester, and the Duke of Somerset.
Hung be ye heavens with black, yield day to night. Comets, importing change of times and states, brandish your crystal tresses in the sky, and with them scourge the bad revolting stars that have consented unto Henry's death. King Henry V, too famous to live long, England ne'er lost a king of so much worth.
England ne'er had a king until his time. Virtue he had, deserving to command. His brandished sword did blind men with his beams. His arms spread wider than a dragon's wings. His sparkling eyes, replete with wrathful fire, more dazzled and drove back his enemies than midday sun, fierce bent against their faces. What should I say? His deeds exceed all speech. He ne'er lift up his hand, but conquered.
We mourn in black. Why mourn we not in blood? Henry is dead and never shall revive. Upon a wooden coffin we attend, and death's dishonorable victory we with our stately presence glorify, like captives bound to a triumphant car. What, shall we curse the planets of mishap that plotted thus our glory's overthrow? Or shall we think the subtle-witted French, conjurers and sorcerers that, afraid of him, by magic verses have contrived his end?
Winchester?
Yes, he was a king, blessed of kings. Unto the French the dreadful judgment day, so dreadful will not be as was his sight. The battles of the Lord of hosts he fought. The church's prayers made him so prosperous.
The church? Where is it? Had not churchmen prayed? His thread of life had not so soon decayed. None do you like but an effeminate prince, whom like a schoolboy you may overawe.
Gloucester, whate'er we like, thou art protector, and lookest to command the prince and realm. Thy wife is proud, she holdeth thee in awe, more than God or religious churchman may.
Name not religion, for thou lovest the flesh, and ne'er throughout the year to church thou goest, except it be to pray against thy foes.
Cease these jars, and rest your minds in peace. Let's to the altar. Heralds, wait on us. Instead of gold, we'll offer up our arms, since arms avail not now that Henry's dead. Posterity await for wretched years, when at their mother's moistened eyes babes shall suck. Our isle be made nourished of salt tears, and none but women left to wail the dead. Henry V, thy ghost I invocate. Prosper this realm, keep it from civil broils, combat with adverse planets in the heavens. A far more glorious star thy soul will make than Julius Caesar or bright.
Enter a messenger.
My honourable lords, health to you all. Sad tidings bring I to you out of France of loss, of slaughter and discomfiture. Guyenne, Champagne, Rheims, Orleans, Paris, Gisors, Poitiers are all quite lost.
What sayst thou, man, before dead Henry's corse? Speak softly, or the loss of those great towns will make him burst his lead and rise from death.
Is Paris lost? Is Ronan yielded up? If Henry were recalled to life again, these news would cause him once more yield the ghost.
How are they lost? What treachery was used?
Oh, no treachery, but want of men and money. Amongst the soldiers this is muttered, that here you maintain several factions, and whilst a field should be dispatched and fought, you are disputing of your generals. One would have lingering wars with little cost, another would fly swift, but wanteth wings. A third thinks without expense at all, by guileful fair words peace may be obtained. Awake, awake, English nobility! Let not sloth dim your honours. Now be got cropped are the fleur de luxe in your army of England's coat. One half is cut away.
Or our tears wanting to this funeral, these tidings would call forth her flowing tides.
Me they concern. Regent I am of France. Give me my stilled coat, I'll fight for France. Away with these disgraceful wailing robes. Wounds will I lend the French instead of eyes, to weep their intermissive miseries.
Enter to them another messenger.
Lords, view these letters full of bad mischance. France is revolted from the English quite, except some petty towns of no import. The Dauphin Charles is crowned king in Rheims. The bastard of Orleans with him is joined. Reignald, Duke of Anjou, doth take his part. The Duke of Alençon flieth to his side.
The Dauphin crowned king? All fly to him? Oh, whither shall we fly from this reproach?
We will not fly, but to our enemies' throats. Bedford, if thou be slack, I'll fight it out.
Gloucester, why doubts thou of my forwardness? An army have I mustered in my thoughts wherewith already France is overrun.
Enter another messenger. My gracious lords, to add to your laments wherewith ye now bedew King Henry's hearse, I must inform you of a dismal fight betwixt the stout Lord Talbot and the French.
What? Wherein Talbot overcame is so?
Oh, no, wherein Lord Talbot was o'erthrown. The circumstance I'll tell you more at large. The 10th of August last, this dreadful lord, retiring from the siege of Orleans, having scarce 6,000 in his troop, by 23,000 of the French, was round encompassed and set upon. No leisure had he to enrank his men. He wanted pikes to set before his archers, instead whereof sharp stakes plucked out of hedges they pitched in the ground confusedly to keep the horsemen off from breaking in. More than 3 hours the fight continued, where valiant Talbot, above human thought, enacted wonders with his sword and lance. Hundreds he sent to hell, and none durst stand him. Here, there, and everywhere, enraged he slew. The French exclaimed the devil was in arms. All the whole army stood agaze on him, his soldiers spying his undaunted spirit. "A Talbot! A Talbot!" cried out amain, and rushed into the bowels of the battle. Here had the conquest been fully sealed up, if Sir John Falstaff had not played the coward, his being in the vaward placed behind with purpose to relieve and follow them, cowardly fled, not having struck one stroke. Hence grew the general rack and massacre, and closed were they with their enemies. A base Wallen, to win the Dauphin's grace, thrust Talbot with a spear into the back, whom all France with their chief assembled strength durst not presume to look once in the face.
Is Talbot slain then? I will slay myself for living idly here in pomp and ease, while such a worthy leader, wanting aid, unto his dastard foemen is betrayed.
Oh, no, he lives, but is took prisoner, and Lord Scales with him, and Lord Hungerford. Most of the rest slaughtered or took likeways.
His ransom there is none, but I shall pay. I'll hale the Dauphin headlong from his throne. His crown shall be the ransom of my friend. 4 of their lords I'll change for 1 of ours. Farewell, my masters. To my task will I. Bonfires in France forthwith I am to make, to keep our great St. George's feast withal. 10,000 soldiers with me I will take, whose bloody deed shall make all Europe quake.
So you had need, for Orleans is besieged, the English army grown weak and faint. The Earl of Salisbury craveth supply, and hardly keeps his men from mutiny, since they so few watch such a multitude.
Remember, lords, your oaths to Henry sworn, either to quell the Dauphin utterly, or bring him in obedience to your yoke.
I do remember it, and here take my leave to go about my preparation.
I'll to the Tower with all the haste I can to view the artillery and munition, and then I will proclaim young Henry king.
To Eltham will I, where the young king is, being ordained a special governor, and for his safety there I'll best devise.
Each hath his place and function to attend. I am left out. For me nothing remains. But long I will not be jack out of office. The king from Eltham I intend to send, and sit at chiefest stern of public weal.
Sound a flourish. Enter Charles, Alençon, and Regnier marching with drums and soldiers.
Okay. Mars, his true moving, even as in the heavens, so in the earth to this day is not known. Late did he shine upon the English side. Now we are victors upon us he smiles. What towns of any moment but we have? At pleasure here we lie, near Orleans. Or otherwhiles the famished English, like pale ghosts, faintly besiege us 1 hour in a month.
They want their porridge and their fat bull beeves. Either they must be dieted like mules and have their provider tied to their mouths, or piteous they will look like drowned mice.
Let's raise the siege. Why live we idly here? Talbot is taken, whom we want to fear. Remaineth none but brain Salisbury, and he may well in fretting to spend his gall, nor men nor money hath he to make war.
Sound! Sound alarum! We will rush on them. Now for the honor of the forlorn French, him I forgive my death that killeth me, when he sees me go back 1 foot or fly.
Exeunt! Here, alarm! They are beaten back by the English with great loss. Enter Charles, Alençon, and Regnier.
Whoever saw the like? What men have I? Dogs, cowards, dastards! I would ne'er have fled, but that they left me midst my enemies.
Salisbury is a desperate homicide. He fighteth as one weary of his life. The other lords, like lions wanting food, do rush upon us as their hungry prey.
A countryman of ours records England all Olivers and Rolands breed. During the time Edward III did reign, more truly now may this be verified, for none but Samsons and Goliaths it sendeth forth to skirmish, 1 to 10, lean raw-boned rascals, who would e'er suppose they had such courage and audacity.
Let's leave this town, for they're harebrained slaves, and hunger will enforce them to be more eager. Of old I know them rather with their teeth. The walls they'll tear down, then forsake the siege.
I think by some odd glimmers or device their arms are set like clocks still to strike on, else ne'er could they hold out so as they do. By my consent, we'll even let them alone.
Be it so.
Enter the Bastard of Orleans.
Page.
Top of 12.
Where's the Prince Dauphin? I have news for him.
Bastard of Orleans, thrice welcome to us.
Methinks your looks are sad, your cheer appalled. Hath the late overthrow wrought this offence? Be not dismayed, for succor is at hand. A holy maid hither with me I bring, which by a vision sent to her from heaven ordained is to raise this tedious siege, and drive the English forth the bounds of France. The spirit of deep prophecy she hath, exceeding the 9 sibyls of old Rome. What's past and what's to come she can descry. Speak, shall I call her in? Believe my words, for they are certain and infallible.
Go, call her in, but first to try her skill, Regnier, stand thou, as Dolphin, in my place. Question her proudly, and let thy looks be stern. By this means shall we sound what skill she hath.
Enter Joan Pucelle. Fair maid, is't thou wilt do these wondrous feats?
Is thou that thinks to beguile me? Where is the Dauphin? Come from behind, I know thee well. Though never seen before. Be not amazed, there's nothing hid from me. In private will I talk with thee apart. Stand back, you lords, and give us leave.
She takes upon her bravely at first dash.
Dauphin, I am by birth a shepherd's daughter, my wit untrained in any kind of art. Heaven and our Lady gracious hath it pleased to shine on my contemptible estate. Lo, whilst I waited on my tender lambs, and to sun's parching heat displayed my cheeks, God's mother deigned to appear to me, and in a vision full of majesty willed me to leave my base vocation and free my country from calamity. Her aid she promised and assured success. In complete glory she revealed herself. And whereas I was black and swart before, with those clear rays which she infused on me, that beauty am I blessed with, which you may see. Ask me what question thou canst possible, and I will answer unpremeditated. My courage, try by combat, if thou darest, and thou shalt find that I exceed my sex. Resolve on this, thou shalt be fortunate, if thou receive me for thy warlike mate.
Thou hast astonished me with thy high terms. Only this proof I'll of thy valor make. In single combat thou shalt buckle with me, and if thou vanquishest, thy words are true. Otherwise I renounce all confidence.
I am prepared. Here is my keen-edged sword, decked with fine fleur-de-lis on either side, the which at Touraine in St. Catherine's churchyard, out of a great deal of old iron, I choose forth.
Then come a God's name. I fear no woman.
And while I live, I'll ne'er fly from a man.
Here they fight, and Joan de Puzel overcomes.
Stay thy hands, thou art an Amazon, and fightest with the sword of Deborah.
Christ's mother helps me, else I were too weak.
Whoe'er helps thee, 'tis thou that must help me. Impatiently I burn with thy desire. My heart and hands thou hast at once subdued. Excellent Pucelle, if thy name be so, let me thy servant and not sovereign be. 'Tis the French Dauphin that sueth to thee thus.
I must not yield to any rites of love, for my profession sacred from above. When I have chased all thy foes from hence, then will I think about a recompense.
Meantime, look gracious on thy prostrate thrall.
My lord, methinks, is very long in talk.
Doubtless he shrives as woman to her smock, else ne'er could he so long protract his speech.
Shall we disturb him, since he keeps no mean?
He may mean more than we poor men do know. These women are shrewd tempters with their tongues.
My lord, where are you? What devise you on? Shall we give Orleans, or no?
Why, no, I say. Distrustful recreants, fight to the last gasp. I'll be your guard.
What she says, I'll confirm. We'll fight it out.
Assigned am I to be the English scourge. This night the siege assuredly I'll raise. Expect St. Martin's summer, halcyon days, since I have entered into these wars. Glory is like a circle in the water, which never ceaseth to enlarge itself, till by broad spreading it dispersed to naught. With Henry's death the English circle ends, dispersed are the glories it included. Now am I like that proud insulting ship which Caesar and his fortune bear at once.
Was Mahomet inspired with a dove? Thou with an eagle art inspired then. Helen, the mother of great Constantine, not yet St. Philip's daughters were like thee. Bright star of Venus, fallen down on the earth, how may I reverently worship thee enough?
Leave off delays and let us raise the siege.
Woman, do what thou canst to save our honors. Drive them from Orleans and be immortalized.
Presently we'll try. Come, let's away about it. No prophet will I trust if she prove false.
Exeunt. Enter Gloucester with his serving men.
I have come to survey the tower this day. Since Henry's death, I fear there is conveyance. Where be these warders that they wait not here? Open the gates, 'tis Gloucester that calls.
Who's there that knocks so imperiously?
It is the noble Duke of Gloucester.
Whate'er he be, you may not be let in.
Villains, answer you so the Lord Protector?
Lord protect him, so we answer him. We do no otherwise than we are willed.
Who willed you? And whose will stands but mine? There's none protector of the realm but I. Break up the gates. I'll be your warranties. Shall I be flouted thus by dunghill grooms?
Gloucester's men rush at the tower gates, and Woodville the lieutenant speaks within. Who's Woodville?
What noise is this? What traitors have we here?
Lieutenant, is it you whose voice I hear? Open the gates. Here's Gloucester that would enter.
Have patience, noble Duke, I may not open. The Cardinal of Winchester forbids. From him I have express commandment that thou, nor none of thine, shall be let in.
Faint-hearted Woodville prizes him for me, arrogant Winchester, that haughty prelate, who Henry our late sovereign ne'er could brook. Thou art no friend to guard or to the king. Open the gates, or I'll shut thee out shortly.
Open the gates unto the Lord Protector, or we'll burst them open if that you come not quickly. Enter to the Protector at the gates Winchester and his men in tawny coats.
How now, ambitious umpire? What means this?
Priest, dost thou command me to be shut out?
I do, thou most usurping proditor, and not protector of the king or realm.
Stand back, thou manifest conspirator, thou that contrivest to murder our dear Lord, thou that givest whores indulgentness to sin. I'll canoose thee in thy broad cardinal's hat, if thou proceed in this thy insolence.
Nay, stand thou back, I will not budge a foot. Be this be Damascus, be thou cursed Cain, to slay thy brother Abel if thou wilt.
I will not slay thee, but I'll drive thee back, thy scarlet robes, as a child's bearing cloth I'll use to carry thee out of this place.
Do what thou darest. I heard thee to thy face. I beard thee to thy face.
What, am I dared and bearded to my face? Draw men for all this privileged place, blue coats to tawny coats. Priest, beware your bead. I mean to tug it and to cuff you soundly under my feet. Under my feet I stamp thy cardinal's hat. In spite of pope or dignities of church, here by the cheeks I'll drag thee up and down.
Gloucester, thou wilt answer this before the Pope.
Oh, Gloucester, a Winchester goose, I cry, a rope, now beat them hence. Why do you let them stay? Thee I'll chase thee, thou wolf in sheep's array, out tawny coats, out scarlet hypocrite.
Here Gloucester's men beat out the Cardinal's men, and enter in the hurly-burly the Mayor of London and his officers.
My lord, that you being supreme magistrates thus consummately should break the peace.
Peace, Major. Thou knowest little of my wrongs. Here's Beaufort that regards nor God nor king, here dismayed the tower to his youths.
Here's Gloucester, a foe to citizens, one that still motions war and never peace, or charging your free purses with large fines, that seeks to overthrow religion, because he is protector of the realm, and would have armor here out of the tower, to crown himself king and suppress the prince.
I will not answer thee with words, but blows.
Here they skirmish again.
Naught rests for me in this tumultuous strife but to make open proclamation. Come, officer, as loud as e'er thou canst, cry, all manner of men assembled here in arms this day against God's peace and the king's, we charge and command you in his highness' name to repair to your several dwelling places, and not to wear, handle, or use any sword, weapon, or dagger henceforth, upon pain of death.
Cardinal, I'll be no breaker of the law, but we shall meet and break our minds at large.
Gloucester will meet to thy cost, be sure. Thy heart blood I will have for this day's work.
I'll call for clubs if you will not away. This cardinal's more haughty than the devil.
Major, farewell. Thou doest but what thou mayest.
Abominable Gloucester, guard thy head, for I intend to have it ere long.
See the coast cleared, and then we will depart. Good God, these nobles should such stomachs bear. I myself fight not once in 40 years.
Exeunt. Enter the master gunner of Orleans and his boy.
Sirrah, thou knowest how Orleans is besieged, and how the English have the suburbs won.
Father, I know. Father, I know and oft have shot at them. How were unfortunate I missed my aim.
But now thou shalt not. Be thou ruled by me. Chief master gunner am I of this town. Something I must do to procure me grace. The prince's espials have informed me how the English in the suburbs close entrenched went through a secret grate of iron bars in yonder tower to overpeer the city, and thence discover how with most advantage they may vex us with shot or with assault. To intercept this inconvenience, a piece of ordnance against it I have placed, and even these 3 days have I watched, if I could see them. Now do thou watch, for I can stay no longer. If thou spiest any, run and bring me word, and thou shalt find me at the governor's.
Father, I warrant you, take you no care. I'll never trouble you if I may spy them.
Exit. Enter Salisbury and Talbot on the turrets with others.
Talbot, my life, my joy, again return? How art thou handled being prisoner? Or by what means godst thou to be released? Discourse, I prithee, on this turret's top.
The Earl of Bedford had a prisoner called the brave Lord Ponton de Saint-Trail. For him I was exchanged and ransomed. But with a baser man of arms by far, once in contempt they would have bartered me, which I, disdaining, scorned and craved death, rather than I would be so pile esteemed. In fine, redeemed I was as I desired. But oh, the treacherous Falstaff wounds my heart, whom with my bare fists I would execute if I had now had him brought into my power.
Yet tellst thou not how thou wert entertained.
With scoffs and scorns and contumelious taunts in open market-place, product produced they me to be a public spectacle to all. Here, said they, is the terror of the French, the scarecrow that affrights our children so. Then broke I from the officers that led me, and with my nails digged stones out of the ground to hurl at the beholders of my shame. My grisly countenance made others fly. None durst come near for fear of sudden death. In iron walls they deemed me not secure. So great fear of my name amongst them were spread, that they supposed I could rend bars of steel and spurn in pieces posts of adamant. Wherefore a guard of chosen shot I had that walked about me every minute, while, and if I did but stir out of my bed, ready they were to shoot me to the heart.
I grieve to hear what torments you endured, but we will be revenged sufficiently. Now it is supper time in Orleans. Here through this grate I count each one, and view the Frenchmen how they fortify. Let us look in. The sight will much delight thee. Sir Thomas Gargrave and Sir William Glansdale, let me have your express opinions. Where is best place to make our battery next?
I think at the north gate, for there stands lords.
And I here at the bulwark of the bridge.
For aught I see, this city must be famished, or with light skirmishes enfeebled.
The boy had come in with the linstock, and here they shot, and Salisbury falls down.
Oh, Lord, have mercy on us, Richard sinners.
Oh, Lord, have mercy on me, woeful man.
What chance is this that sudden hath crossed us? Speak, Salisbury. At least, if thou canst, speak how fast, thou mirror of all martial men. One of thy eyes and thy cheek's sides struck off. Accursed tower, accursed fatal hand that have contrived this woeful tragedy. In 13 battles Salisbury o'ercame. Henry the Fifth he first trained to the wars, whilst any trumpet did sound, or drum struck up, his sword did ne'er leave striking in the field. Yet liv'dst thou, Salisbury. Though thy speech doth fail, one eye thou hast to look to heaven for grace. The sun with one eye vieweth all the world. Heaven be thou gracious to none alive. If Salisbury wants mercy at thy hands, bear hence his body. I will help to bury it. Sir Thomas Gargrave, hast thou any life? Speak unto Talbot, nay, look up to him. Salisbury, cheer thy spirit with his comfort. Thou shalt not die whiles he beckons with his hand and smiles on me, as who should say, when I am dead and gone, remember to avenge me on the French. Plantagenet I will, and like thee play on the lute, beholding the towns burn. Wretched all France be only in my name.
Hear an alarum, and it thunders and lightens.
What stir is this? What tumults in the heavens? Whence cometh this alarm and the noise?
Enter a messenger. My lord, the French have gathered head. The Dolphin with one Joan de Pucelle joined, a holy prophetess, new risen up, is come with great power to raise the siege.
Hear, hear, how dying Salisbury doth groan. It aches his heart he cannot be revenged. Frenchmen, I'll be a Salisbury to you, Pucelle or Puzzle, Dauphin or Dogfish. Your hearts I'll stamp out at my horse's heels, and make a quagmire of your mingled brains. Convey me Salisbury to his tent, and then we'll try what these dastard Frenchmen dare.
Alarum, exeunt. Hear an alarum again, and Talbot pursueth the Dolphin and driveth him. Then enter Joan de Pucelle, driving Englishmen before her. Then enter Talbot.
Where is my strength, my valour, and my force? Our English troops retire. I cannot stay them. A woman clad in armour chaseth them.
Enter Pucelle.
Oh, here she comes. I'll have a bout with thee, devil or devil's dam. I'll conjure thee. Blood will I draw on thee. Thou art a witch, and straightway give thy soul to him thou servest.
Come, come, 'tis only I that must disgrace thee.
Here they fight.
Heavens, can you suffer hell so to prevail? My breast I'll burst with straining of my courage, and from my shoulders crack my arms asunder. But I will chastise this high-minded strumpet.
They fight again.
Talbot, farewell. The hour is not yet come. I must go victual Orleans forthwith.
A short alarum, then enter the town with soldiers.
O'ertake me if thou canst. I scorn thy strength. Go, go. Cheer up thy hungry, starved men. Help Salisbury to make his testament. This day is ours, as many more shall be.
Exit.
My thoughts are whirled like a potter's wheel. I know not where I am, nor what I do. A witch by fear, not force, like Hannibal, drives back our troops, and conquers as she lists. So bees with smoke and doves with noisome stench are from their hives and houses driven away. They called us for our fierceness, English dogs. Now like to whelps, we crying run away.
A short alarum.
Hark, countrymen, either renew the fight or tear the lions out of England's coat. Renounce your soul, give sheep in lions' stead. Sheep run not half so treacherous from the wolf, or horse or oxen from the leopard, as you fly from your oft subdued slaves.
Alarum, here another skirmish.
It will not be. Retire into your trenches. You all consented unto Salisbury's death, for none would strike a stroke in his revenge. Pucelle is entered into Orleans in spite of us. or aught that we could do. Oh, would I were to die with Salisbury! The shame hereof will make me hide my head.
Exit Talbot, alarum, retreat, flourish. Enter on the walls Puzel, Dolphin, Regnier, Allinson, and soldiers.
Advance our waving colors on the walls. Rescued is Orleans from the English. Thus, Joan de Pucelle hath performed her word.
It's very difficult sight reading Shakespeare.
Divinest creature, Astra's daughter, how shall I honor thee for this success? Thy promises are like Adonis' garden, that one day bloomed and fruitful were the next. France, triumph in thy glorious prophetess. Recovered is the town of Orleans. More blessed hap did ne'er befall our state.
Why ring not out the bells aloud throughout the town? Dolphin, command the citizens make bonfires and feast and banquet in the open streets to celebrate the joy that God hath given us.
All France will be replete with mirth and joy when they shall hear how we have played the men.
'Tis Joan, not we, by whom the day is won, for which I will divide my crown with her, and all the priests and friars in my realm shall in procession sing her endless praise. A statelier Pyramus to her I'll rear than Rudolph's or Memphis ever was. In memory of her, when she is dead, her ashes in an urn more precious than the rich jeweled coffer of Darius, transported shall be at high festivals, before the kings and queens of France. No longer on Saint Denis we will cry, but Joan de Pucelle shall be France's saint. Come in and let us banquet royally after this golden day of victory.
Flourish, exeunt. Actus secundus, scena prima. Enter a sergeant of a band with 2 sentinels.
Sirs, take your places and be vigilant. If any noise or soldier you perceive near to the walls, by some apparent sign, let us have knowledge at the court of guard.
Sergeant, you shall. Thus our poor servitors, when others sleep upon their quiet beds, constrained to watch in darkness, rain, and cold. Enter Talbot, Bedford, and Burgundy with the scaling ladders, their drums beating a dead march.
Lord Regent and redoubted Burgundy, by whose approach the regions of Artois, Wallon, and Picardy are friends to us. This happy night the Frenchmen are secure, having all day caroused and banqueted. Embrace we then this opportunity, as fitting best to quittance their deceit, contrived by art and baleful sorcery.
Howard of France, how much he wrongs his fame, despairing of his own arms' fortitude, to join with witches and the help of hell.
Traitors have never other company. But what's that Pucelle whom they term so pure?
A maid, they say.
A maid, and be so martial?
Pray God she prove not masculine ere long, if underneath the standard of the French she carry armor as she has begun.
Well, let them practice and converse with spirits. God is our fortress, in whose conquering name let us resolve to scale their flinty bullocks.
Ascend, brave Talbot, we will follow thee.
Oh, not altogether. Better far, I guess, that we do make our entrance several ways, that if it chance the one of us do fail, the other yet may rise against their force.
Agreed. All to yonder corner.
And I to this.
And here will Talbot mount, or make his grave. Now, Salisbury, for thee and for the right of English Henry shall this night appear how much in duty I am bound to both.
Arm, arm! The enemy doth make assault! Cry, St. George and Talbot! The French leap o'er the walls in their shirts, enter several ways, Bastard, Allinson, Regnier, half ready and half unready.
How now, my lords, what, all unready so?
Unready? Aye, and glad we escaped so well.
'Twas time, I trow, to wake and leave our beds, hearing alarums at our chamber doors.
Of all exploits since first I followed arms, never heard I of a warlike enterprise more venturous or desperate than this.
I think this Talbot be a fiend of hell.
not of hell. The heavens sure favor him.
Here cometh Charles, I marvel how he sped.
Enter Charles and Joan.
Holy Joan was his defensive guard.
Is this thy cunning, thou deceitful dame? Didst thou at first, to flatter us withal, make us partakers of a little gain, that now our loss might be 10 times so much? It's Joan.
I know, I lost my place. Where are we?
35.
Top of page 35.
Okay. Thank you. Wherefore is Charles impatient with his friend? At all times will you have my power alike? Sleeping or waking, must I still prevail? Or will you blame and lay the fault on me? Improvident soldiers, had your watch been good, this sudden mischief never could have fallen.
Duke of Alençon, this was your default, that being captain of the watch tonight did look no better to that weighty charge.
Had all your quarters been as safely kept as that whereof I had the government, we had not been thus shamefully surprised.
Mine was secure.
And so was mine, my lord.
And for myself, most part of all this night within her quarter and mine own precinct, I was employed in passing to and fro, about relieving of the sentinels. Then how or which way should they first break in?
Question, my lords, no further of the case, how or which way. To sure they found some place, but weakly guarded, where the breach was made. And now the rest, no other shift but this, to gather our soldiers scattered and disperse, and lay new platforms to undamage them.
Exeunt. Alarum. Enter a soldier crying, "A Talbot! A Talbot!" They fly, leaving their clothes behind.
I'll be so bold to take what they have left. The cry of Talbot serves me for a sword, for I have loaded me with many spoils, using no other weapon but his name.
Exit. Enter Talbot, Bedford, Burgundy.
Bedford, oh dear.
Who's Bedford?
Yes.
The day begins to break and night is fled, whose pitchy mantle overveiled the earth. Here sound retreat and cease our hot pursuit.
Retreat.
Bring forth the body of old Salisbury, and here advance it in the marketplace, the middle censure of this cursed town. Now I have paid my vow unto his soul, for every drop of blood was drawn from him. There hath at least 5 Frenchmen died tonight, and that hereafter ages may behold what ruin happened in revenge of him, within their chiefest temple I'll erect a tomb, wherein his corpse shall be interred, upon the which, that every one may read, shall be engraved the sack of Orleans, the treacherous manner of his mournful death, and what a terror he had been to France. But, lords, in all our bloody massacre, I muse we met not with the Dauphin's grace, his new-come champion, virtuous Joan of Acre, nor any of his false confederates.
'Tis thought, Lord Talbot, when the fight began, roused on the sudden from the drowsy beds, they did amongst the troops of armed men leap o'er the walls from refuge in the field.
Myself, as far as I could well discern, for smoke and dusky vapors of the night, am sure I scared the dolphin and his trull, when arm in arm they both came swiftly running, like to a pair of loving turtle doves that could not live asunder day or night. After that, things are set in order here. We'll follow them with all the power we have.
Enter a messenger. All hail, my lords. Which of these princely train call ye the warlike Talbot for his acts of so such applauded through the realm of France?
Here is the Talbot who would speak with him.
The virtuous lady, Countess of Auvergne, with modesty admiring thy renown, by me entreats, great lord, thou wouldst vouchsafe to visit her poor castle where she lives, that she may boast she hath beheld the man whose glory fills the world with loud report.
Is it even so? Nay, then I see our wars will turn into a peaceful comic sport, where ladies crave to be encountered with. You may not, my lord, despise her gentle suit.
Nay, trust me then, for when a world of men could not prevail with all their oratory, yet hath a woman's kindness overruled. And therefore tell her I return great thanks, and in submission will attend on her. Will not your honours bear me company?
No, truly it is more than manners will, and I have heard it said, unbidden guests are often welcomest when they are gone.
Well then, alone, since there's no remedy. I mean to prove this lady's courtesy. Come hither, captain. You perceive my mind.
Whispers. I do, my lord, and mean accordingly. Exeunt. Enter Countess. Which is also you, Kitty, so yeah. Kitty, you're the Countess of Auvergne as well.
Am I Countess?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh. Porter, remember what I gave in charge, and when you have done so, bring the keys to me.
Madam, I will. Exit.
The plot is laid. If all things fall out right, I shall as famous be by this exploit as Scythian Tomyris by Cyrus' death. Great is the rumor of this dreadful knight, and his achievements of no less account. Fain would my eyes be witness with mine ears to give their censure of these rare reports.
Enter messenger with and Talbot. Madam, according to your ladyship desired, so by message craved, so is Lord Talbot come.
And he is welcome. What, is this the man?
Madam, it is.
Is this the scourge of France? Is this the Talbot, so much feared abroad, that with his name the mothers still their babes? I see report is fabulous and false. I thought I should have seen some Hercules, a second Hector for his grim aspect and large proportion of his strong knit limbs. Alas, this is a child, a silly dwarf. It cannot be. This weak and writhed shrimp should strike such terror to his enemies.
You're muted, Lord Talbot.
Madam, I have been bold to trouble you, but since your ladyship is not at leisure, I'll sort some other time to visit you.
What means he now? Go ask him whither he goes.
Stay, my Lord Talbot, for my lady craves to know the cause of your abrupt departure.
Marry, for that she's in a wrong belief. I go to certify her Talbot's here.
Enter Porter with keys.
If thou be he, then art thou prisoner.
Prisoner? To whom?
To me, bloodthirsty lord, and for that cause I trained thee to my house. Long time thy shadow hath been thrall to me, for in my gallery thy picture hangs. But now the substance shall endure the like, and I will chain these legs and arms of thine that hast by tyranny these many years wasted our country, slain our citizens, and sent our sons and husbands captivate. Laughest thou, wretch? Thy mirth shall turn to moan.
I laugh to see your ladyship so fond, to think that you have aught but Talbot's shadow whereon to practice your severity.
Why, art not thou the man?
I am indeed.
Then have I substance too.
No, I am but shadow of myself. You are deceived. My substance is not here, for what you see is but the smallest part and least proportion of humanity. I tell you, madam, were the whole frame here, it is of such a spacious, lofty pitch, your roof were not sufficient to contain.
This is a riddling merchant for the nonce. He will be here, and yet he is not here. How can these contrarieties agree?
That I will show you presently.
Winds his horn, drums strike up, a peal of ordnance, enters soldiers.
How say you, madam? Are you now persuaded that Talbot is but shadow of himself? These are his substance, sinews, arms, and strength, with which he yoked your rebellious necks, razeth your cities and subverts your towns, and in a moment makes them desolate.
Victorious Talbot, pardon my abuse. I find thou art no less than fame hath brewed, and more than may be gathered by thy shape. Let my presumption not provoke thy wrath, for I am sorry that with reverence I did not entertain thee as thou art.
Be not dismayed, fair lady, nor misconster. The mind of Talbot, as you did mistake the outward composition of his body, what you have done hath not offended me, nor other satisfaction do I crave, but only with your patience that we may taste your wine and see what cates you have, for soldiers' stomachs always serve them well.
With all my heart, and think me honored to feast so great a warrior in my house.
Exeunt. Enter Richard Plantagenet, Warwick, Somerset, Poole, and others.
Great lords and gentlemen, what means this silence? Dare no man answer in a case of truth?
Within the temple hall we were too loud. The garden here is more convenient.
Then say at once, if I maintained the truth, or else was wrangling Somerset in the error.
Faith, I have been a truant in the law, and never yet could frame my will to it, and therefore frame the law unto my will.
Judge you, my lord of Warwick, then between us.
Warwick? Eleanor, are you there?
Page.
Oh,
44.
44.
Why don't you keep track?
Faith, I have been a truant to the law, and never could frame my will to it, and therefore frame the law unto my will.
Judge you, my lord of Warwick, then between us.
Between two hawks which flies the...
Between two hawks, which flies the higher pitch, between two dogs, which hath the deeper mouth, between two blades, which bears the better temper, between two horses, which doth bear him best, between two girls, which hath the merriest eye, I have perhaps some shallow spirit of judgment, but in these nice sharp quillets of the law, good faith, I am no wiser than a daw.
Tut, here is a mannerly forbearance. The truth appears so naked on my side that any purblind eye may find it out.
And on my side it is so well apparelled, so clear, so shining, and so evident, that it will glimmer through a blind man's eye.
Since you are so tongue-tied and so loath to speak, in dumb significance proclaim your thoughts. Let him that is a true-born gentleman, and stands upon the honor of his birth, if he suppose that I have plucked truth, from this briar pluck a right white rose with me.
Let him that is no coward nor no flatterer, but dare maintain the party of the truth, pluck a red rose from off this thorn with me.
I love no colours, and without all colour of base insinuating flattery, I pluck this white rose with Plantagenet.
I pluck the red rose with young Somerset, and say withal I think he held the right. Here's Vernon.
Stay, lords and gentlemen, and pluck no more, till you conclude that he upon whose side the fewest roses are cropped from the tree shall yield the other in the right opinion.
Good Master Vernon, it is well objected. If I have fewest, I subscribe in silence.
And I.
Then, for the truth and plainness of the case, I pluck this pale and maiden blossom here, giving my verdict on the white rose side.
Oh, prick not your finger as you pluck it off, Lest bleeding you do paint the white rose red, and fall on my side, so against your will.
If I, my lord, for my opinion bleed, opinion shall be surgeon to my heart, to my hurt, and keep me on the side where still I am.
Well, well, come on. Who else?
Unless my study and my books be false, the argument you held was wrong in you. In sign wherefore, I pluck a white rose too.
Now, Somerset, where is your argument?
Here in my scabbard. Meditating that shall dye your white rose in a bloody red.
Meantime, your cheeks do counterfeit our roses, for pale they look with fear, as witnessing the truth on our side.
No, Plantagenet, 'tis not for fear, but anger that thy cheeks blush for pure shame, to counterfeit our roses, and yet thy tongue will not confess thy error.
Hath not thy rose a canker, Somerset?
Hath not thy rose a thorn, Plantagenet?
Aye, sharp and piercing to maintain his truth, whilst thy consuming canker eats his falsehood.
Well, I'll find friends to wear my bleeding roses that shall maintain what I have said is true, where false Plantagenet dare not be seen.
Now, by the maiden blossom in my hand, I scorn thee and thy fashion, peevish boy.
Turn not thy scorns this way, Plantagenet.
Proud pool, I will, and scorn both him and thee.
I'll turn my part therein unto thy throat.
Away, away, good William de la Poole. We grace the yeoman by conversing with him.
Ah, now, by God's will, thou wrong'st him, Somerset. His grandfather was Lionel, Duke of Clarence, third son to the third Edward, King of England. Spring crestless yeoman from so deep a root.
He bears him on the place's privilege, or durst not for his craven heart say thus.
By him that made me, I'll maintain my words on any plot of ground in Christendom. Was not thy father, Richard, Earl of Cambridge, for treason executed in our late king's days? And by his treason standst not thou attainted, corrupted, and exempt from ancient gentry? His trespass yet lives guilty in thy blood, and till thou be restored, thou art a yeoman.
My father was attached, not attainted, condemned to die for treason, but no traitor, and that I'll prove on better men than Somerset. Were growing time once ripened to my will for your partaker pool, and you yourself, I'll note you in my book of memory to scourge you for this apprehension. Look to it well, and say you are well warned.
Ah, thou shalt find us ready for thee still, and know us by these colours for thy foes. For these, my friends, in spite of thee shall wear.
And by my soul, this pale and angry rose, as cognizant of my blood-drinking hate, will I forever and my faction wear, until it wither with me to my grave, or flourish to the height of my degree.
Go forward and be choked with thy ambition, and so farewell until I meet thee next.
Have with thee, Poole. Farewell, ambitious Richard.
How am I braved, and must perforce endure it.
This blot that they object against your house shall be whipped out in the next Parliament, called for the truce of Winchester and Gloucester, and if thou be not then created York, I will not live to be accounted Warwick. Meantime, in signal of my love to thee, against proud Somerset and William Poole, will I upon thy party wear this rose, and here I prophesy, this brawl today, grown to this faction, in the Temple Garden, shall send between the red rose and the white 1,000 souls to death and deadly night.
Good Master Vernon, I am bound to you that you on my behalf would pluck a flower.
In your behalf, still I wear the same.
And so will I.
Thanks, gentle. Come, let us forward to dinner. I dare say this quarrel will drink blood another day.
Exeunt. Enter Mortimer, brought in a chair, and jailers.
Kind keepers of my weak decaying age, let dying Mortimer here rest himself. Even like a man new hailed from the rack, so fare my limbs with long imprisonment. And these grey locks, the pursuivants of death, Nestor-like aged in an age of care, argue the end of Edmund Mortimer. These eyes like lamps whose wasting oil is spent, wax dim as drawing to their exigent. Weak shoulders overborne with burthening grief, and pithless arms like to a withered vine, that droops his sapless branches to the ground, yet are these feet, whose strengthless stay is numb, unable to support this lump of clay, swift-winged with desire to get a grave, as witting I no other comfort have. But tell me, keeper, will my nephew come?
Richard Plantagenet, my lord, will come. We sent unto the temple, unto his chamber, and answer was returned that he will come.
Enough. My soul shall then be satisfied. Poor gentleman, his wrong doth equal mine. Since Henry Monmouth first began to reign, before whose glory I was great in arms, this loathsome sequestrian have I had. And even since then hath Richard been obscured, deprived of honor and inheritance, but now the arbitrator of despairs, just death, kind umpire of men's miseries, with sweet enlargement doth dismiss me hence. I would his troubles likewise were expired, so that he might recover what he lost.
Enter Richard. My lord, your loving nephew now is come.
Richard Plantagenet, my friend, is he come?
Ay, noble uncle, thus ignobly used, your nephew, late despised Richard, comes.
Direct mine arms, I may embrace his neck, and in his bosom spend my latter gasp. Oh, tell me when my lips do touch his cheeks, that I may kindly give one fainting kiss. And now declare, sweet stem from York's great stock, why didst thou say of late thou wert despised?
First, lean thine aged back against mine arm, and in that ease I'll tell thee of my disease. This day, in argument upon a case, some words there grew twixt Somerset and me, among which terms he used his savage, lavish tongue, and did upbraid me with my father's death, which obloquy set bars before my tongue. Else with the like had I had requited him. Therefore, good uncle, for my father's sake, in honor of a true Plantagenet, and for alliance sake, declare the cause. My father, Earl of Cambridge, lost his head.
That cause, fair nephew, that imprisoned me, and hath detained me all my flowering youth, within a loathsome dungeon there to pine, was cursed instrument of his decease.
Discover more at large what cause that was, for I am ignorant and cannot guess.
I will, if that my fading breath permit, and death approach not ere my tale be done. Henry IV, grandfather to this king, deposed his nephew Richard, Edward's son, the first begotten and lawful heir of Edward, king, the third of that descent, during whose reign the Percys of the North, finding his usurpation most unjust, endeavored my advancement to the throne. The reason moved these warlike lords to this was, for that young Richard thus removed, leaving no heir begotten of his body, I was the next by birth and parentage. For my mother I derived am from Lionel Duke of Clarence, third son to King Edward III, whereas he from John of Gaunt doth bring his pedigree, being but fourth of that heroic line. But mark, as in this haughty great attempt they labored to plant the rightful heir, I lost my liberty, and they their lives. Long after this, when Henry V, succeeding his father Bolingbroke, did reign, thy father, Earl of Cambridge, then derived from famous Edmund Langley, Duke of York, marrying my sister, that thy mother was, again, in pity of my heart distress, levied an army weening to redeem and have installed me in the diadem. But as the rest, so fell that noble earl, and was beheaded. Thus the Mortimers, in whom the title rested, were suppressed.
Of which, my lord, your honor is the last.
True, and thou seest that I no issue have, and that my fainting words do warrant death. Thou art my heir, the rest I wish thee gather, but yet be wary in thy studious care.
Thy grave admonishments prevail with me, but yet methinks my father's execution was nothing less than bloody tyranny.
With silence, nephew, be thou politic. Strong fixed is the house of Lancaster, and like a mountain not to be removed. But now thy uncle is removing hence, as princes do their courts when they are cloyed with long continuance in a settled place.
Oh, uncle, would some part of my young years might but redeem the passage of your age.
Thou dost then wrong me, as a slaughterer doth, which giveth many wounds when one will kill. More not, except thou sorrow for my good. Only give order for my funeral. And so farewell, and fair be all thy hopes, and prosperous be thy life in peace and war.
And peace, no war, befall thy parting soul. In prison thou hast spent a pilgrimage, and like a hermit overpass thy days. Well, I will lock his counsel in my breast, and what I do imagine, let that rest. Keepers convey him hence, and I myself will see his burial better than his life. Here dies the dusky torch of Mortimer, choked with ambition of the meaner sort, and for those wrongs, those bitter injuries which Somerset hath offered to my house, I doubt not, but with honor to redress, and therefore haste I to the Parliament, either to be restored to my blood, or else my will the advantage of my good.
Exit. Actus tertius, scena prima. Flourish. Enter King, Exeter, Gloucester, Winchester, Warwick, Somerset, Suffolk, Richard Plantagenet. Gloucester offers to put up a bill. Winchester snatches it and tears it.
Com'st thou with deep premeditated lines, with written pamphlets studiously devised? Humphrey of Gloucester, if thou canst accuse, or aught intend'st to lay unto my charge, do it without invention, suddenly, and as I with sudden and extemporal speech purpose to answer what thou canst object.
Oh, presumptuous priest, this place commands my patience, or thou shouldst find thou hast dishonored me. Think not, although in writing I preferred the manner of thy vile outrageous crimes, and therefore I have forged, or am not able, verbatim, to rehearse the method of my pen, no prelate such as thy audacious wickedness, the lewd pestiferous and licentious pranks as very infantiles prattle of thy pride. Thou art a most pernicious usurer, froward by nature, enemy to peace, lascivious, wanton, more than well beseems a man of thy profession and degree, and for thy treachery, what's more manifest, in that thou layest a trap to take my life, as well as at London Bridge as at the Tower. Besides, I fear me if thy thoughts were sifted, the king my sovereign is not quite exempt from envious malice of thy swelling heart.
Gloucester, I do defy thee. Lords, vouchsafe to give me hearing what I shall reply. If I were covetous, ambitious, or perverse, as he will have me, how am I so poor? Or how haps it I seek not to advance, or raise myself, but keep my wonted calling? And for dissension, who preferreth peace? More than I do, except I be provoked. No, my good lords, it is not that offends. It is not that hath incensed the duke. It is because no one should sway but he. No one but he should be about the king, that engenders thunder in his breast, and makes him roar these accusations forth. But he shall know I am as good.
As good, the bastard of my grandfather?
I, lordly sir, for what are you, I pray, but one imperious in another's throne?
Am I not protector, saucy priest?
And am not I a prelate of the church?
Yes, as an outlaw in a castle keeps and uses it to patronize his theft.
Unreverent Gloucester.
Thou art reverent, touching the spiritual function, not thy life.
Rome shall remedy this.
Rome thither then, my lord. It were your duty to forbear.
Rome thither then, my lord. It were your duty to forbear.
Aye, see the bishop be not overborne. Methinks my lord should be religious and know the office that belongs to such.
Methinks his lordship should be humbler. It fitteth not a prelate so to plead.
Yes, when his holy state is touched so near.
State holy or unhallowed, what of that? Is not his grace protector to the king?
Plantagenet, I see, must hold his tongue, lest it be said, speak, sirrah, when you should. Must your bold verdict enter talk with lords? Else would I have a fling at Winchester.
Uncles of Gloucester and of Winchester, the special watchmen of our English weal, I would prevail, if prayers might prevail, to join your hearts in love and amity. Oh, what a scandal is it to our crown that two such noble peers as ye should jar! Believe me, lords, my tender years can tell, civil dissension is a viperous worm that gnaws the bowels of the commonwealth. A noise within, down with the tawny coats. What tumult's this?
An uproar, I dare warrant, begun through malice of the bishop's men.
A noise again. Stones, stones, enter mayor.
Oh, my good lords and virtuous Henry, pity the city of London, pity us. The bishop and the Duke of Gloucester's men, forbidden late to carry any weapon, have filled their pockets full of pebble stones, with banding themselves in contrary parts do pelt so fast at one another's pate that many have their giddy brains knocked out. Our windows are broken down in every street, and we for fear compelled to shut our shops.
Enter and skirmish with bloody pates. We charge you on allegiance to ourself to hold your slaughtering hands and keep the peace. Pray, Uncle Gloucester, mitigate this strife.
Nay, if we be forbidden stones, we'll fall to it with our teeth.
Do it.
Yeah, we are as resolute.
Skirmish again.
You of my household, leave this peevish brawl and set this unaccustomed fight aside.
My lord, we know your grace to be a man just and upright, and for your royal birth inferior to none, but to his majesty. And ere that we will suffer such a prince, so kind a father of the commonweal, to be disgraced by an inkhorn mate. We and our wives and children all will fight, and have our bodies slaughtered by thy foes.
And I and the very parings of our nails shall pitch a field when we are dead.
I say, and if you love me as you say you do, let me persuade you to forbear a while.
Oh, how this discord doth afflict my soul! Can you, my lord of Winchester, behold my sighs and tears, and will not once relent? Who should be pitiful if you be not? Or who would study to prefer a peace if holy churchmen take delight in broils?
Yield, my lord protector, yield, Winchester, except you mean with obstinate repulse to slay your sovereign and destroy the realm. You see what mischief and what murder, too, hath been enacted through your enmity. Then be at peace, except ye thirst for blood.
He shall submit, or I will never yield.
Compassion on the king commands me stoop, or I would see his heart out ere the priest should ever get the privilege of me.
Behold, my lord of Winchester, the Duke hath banished moody discontented fury, as by his smoothed brows it doth appear. Why look you still so stern and tragical?
Here, Winchester, I offer thee my hand.
Fie, Uncle Beaufort, I have heard you preach that malice was a great and grievous sin, and will not you maintain the thing you teach, but prove a chief offender in the same?
Sweet king, the bishop hath a kindly geared. For shame, my lord of Winchester, relent. What, shall a child instruct you what to do?
Well, Duke of Gloucester, I will yield to thee. Love for thy love, and hand for hand I give.
But I fear me with a hollow heart. See here, my friends and lovely countrymen, this token serveth for a flag of truth betwixt ourselves and all our followers. So help me God, as I dissemble not.
So help me God, as I intended not.
Oh, loving uncle, kind Duke of Gloucester, how joyful am I made by this contract. Away, my masters, trouble us no more, but join in friendship as your lords have done.
Content, I'll to the surgeons.
And so will I.
And I will see what physic the tavern affords.
Exeunt.
Accept this scroll, most gracious sovereign, which in the right of Richard Plantagenet we do exhibit to your majesty.
Well urged, my lord of Warwick, for sweet prince, and if your grace mark every circumstance, you have great reason to do Richard right, especially for those occasions at Eltham Place, I told your majesty.
And those occasions, uncle, were of force. Therefore, my loving lords, our pleasure is that Richard be restored to his blood.
Let Richard be restored to his blood, so shall his father's wrongs be recompensed.
As will the rest, so willeth Winchester.
If Richard will be true, not that all alone, but all the whole inheritance I give that doth belong unto the house of York, from whence you spring by lineal descent.
Thy humble servant vows obedience and humble service to the point of death.
Stoop then, and set your knee against my foot, and in reguerdon of that duty done, I girt thee with the valiant sword of York. Rise, Richard, like a true Plantagenet, and rise created princely Duke of York.
And so thrive, Richard, as thy foes may fall, and as my duty springs, so perish they that grudge one thought against your majesty.
Welcome, high prince, the mighty Duke of York.
Duke of York.
Perish, base prince, ignoble Duke of York.
Oh, now will it best avail your majesty to cross the seas and to be crowned in France. The presence of a king engenders love amongst his subjects and his loyal friends, and it disanimates his enemies.
When Gloucester says the word, King Henry goes, for friendly counsel cuts off many foes.
Your ships already are in readiness.
Senate, flourish, exeunt, manet, Exeter.
Aye, we may march in England or in France, not seeing what is likely to ensue. This late dissension grown betwixt the peers burns under feigned ashes of forged love, and will at last break out into a flame, as festered members rot but by degree, till bones and flesh and sinews fall away. So this base and envious discord breed. And now I fear that fatal prophecy, which in the time of Henry named the fifth, was in the mouth of every sucking babe, that Henry born at Monmouth should win all, and Henry born at Windsor lose all. Which is so plain that Exeter doth wish his days may finish ere the hapless time.
Exit. Scena secunda. Enter Pucelle disguised with 4 soldiers with sacks upon their backs.
These are the city gates, the gates of Rome, through which our policy must make a breach. Take heed, be wary how you place your words, talk like the vulgar sort of market men that come to gather money for their corn. If we have entrance, as I hope we shall, and that we find the slothful watch but weak, I'll by a sign give notice to our friends that Charles the Dauphin may encounter them.
Our sack shall be a mean to sack the city, and we be lords and rulers over Rhone. Therefore we'll knock. Knock. Sheila.
But on the pauvres gens de France, poor market folk that come to sell their corn.
Enter, go in, the market bell is rung.
Now, Juan, I'll shake thy bulwarks to the ground.
Exeunt. Enter Charles Bastard Alanson.
St. Denis bless this happy stratagem, and once again we'll sleep secure and run.
Here entered Pucelle and her practisants. Now she's there, how will she specify? Here is the best and safest passage in.
By thrusting out a torch from yonder tower, which once discerned shows what that her meaning is, no way that to that for weakness which she entered. Enter Pucelle on the top, thrusting out a torch burning.
Behold, this is the happy wedding torch that joineth Rohan unto her countrymen, but burning fatal to the Talbonites.
See, noble Charles, the beacon of our friend, the burning torch in yonder turret stands.
Now shine it like a comet of revenge, a prophet to the fall of all our foes.
Defer no time, delays have dangerous ends. Enter and cry, the dolphin presently, and then do execution on the watch. Alarum, alarum, excursion.
France, thou shalt rue this treason with thy tears, if Talbot but survive thy treachery. Pucelle, that witch, that damned sorceress, hath wrought this hellish mischief unawares, that hardly we escaped the pride of France.
Exit, an alarum, excursions. Bedford brought in sick in a chair. Enter Talbot and Burgundy without, within. Pucelle, Charles Bastard, and Rainier on the walls.
Good morrow, gallants, want ye corn for bread? I think the Duke of Burgundy will fast before he'll buy again at such a rate. 'Twas full of darnel. Do you like the taste?
Scoff on, vile fiend and shameless courtesan. I trust ere long to choke thee with thine own, and make thee curse the harvest of that corn.
Your grace may starve, perhaps, before that time.
Oh, let no words but deeds revenge this treason.
What will you do, good graybeard? Break a lance and run a tilted death within a chair?
Foul fiend of France, and hag of all despite, encompassed with thy lustful paramours, becomes it thee to taint his valiant age, and twit with cowardice a man half dead? Damsel, I'll have a bout with you again, or else let Talbot perish with this shame.
Are you so hot, sir? Yet, Pucelle, hold thy peace. If Talbot do but thunder, rain will follow.
They whisper together in council.
Godspeed the Parliament. Who shall be the speaker?
Dare ye come forth and meet us in the field?
Belike your lordship takes us then for fools to try if that our own be ours or no?
I speak not to that railing Hecate, but unto thee, Alençon, and the rest. Will ye like soldiers come and fight it out?
Signor, no.
Oh, Signor, hang! Base muleteers of France, like peasant footboys, do they keep the walls and dare not take up arms like gentlemen?
Away, captains, let's get us from the walls, for Talbot means no goodness by his looks. Goodbye, my lord. We came but to tell you that we are here.
And there we will be too. ere it be long, or else reproach the Talbot's greatest fame. Thou, Burgoyne, by honour of thy house, pricked on by public wrongs, sustained by in France, either to get the town again or die. And I, as sure as English Henry lives, and as his father here was conqueror, as sure as in this late betrayed town great Cordelion's heart was buried, so sure I swear to get the town or die.
My vows are equal partners with thy vows.
Now, there we go. Regard this dying prince, the valiant Duke of Bedford. Come, my lord, we will bestow you in some better place, fitter for sickness and for crazy age.
Lord Talbot, do not so dishonor me. Here will I sit before the walls of ruin, and will be partner of your weal or woe.
Courageous Bedford, let us not persuade you.
Not to be gone from hence. For once I read that stout Pendragon in his litter sick came to the field and vanquished his foes. Methinks I should revive the soldiers' hearts, because I ever found them as myself.
Undaunted spirit in a dying breast, then be it so. Heavens keep old Bedford safe, and now no more do brave Burgoyne, but gather we our forces out of hand and set upon our boasting enemy.
Exit. An alarum, excursions. Enter Sir John Falstaff and a captain. Whither away, Sir John Falstaff, in such haste?
Whither away? To save myself by flight. We are like to have the overthrow again.
What? Will you fly and leave Lord Talbot?
Aye, all the Talbots in the world to save my life.
Exit. Cowardly knight, ill fortune follow thee. Exit. Retreat, excursions. Pucelle, Alanson, and Charles fly. Bedford.
Now, quiet soul, depart when heaven please, for I have seen our enemies overthrow. What is the trust or strength of foolish man, that they that of late were daring with their scoffs are glad and fain by flight to save themselves?
Bedford dies, and is carried in by two in his chair. An alarum, enter Talbot, Burgundy, and the rest.
Lost and recovered in a day again. This is a double honour, Burgundy. Yet heavens have glory in this victory.
Warlike and martial Talbot, Burgundy enshrines thee in his heart, and there erects thy noble deeds as valorous monuments.
Thanks, gentle Duke. But where is Pucelle now? I think our old familiar is asleep. Now where's the bastard's braves and Charles his glikes? What's all amort? Rouen hangs her head for grief that such a valiant company have fled. Now will we take some order in the town, placing therein some expert officers, and then depart to Paris to the king, for there young Henry with his nobles lie.
What wills Lord Talbot pleases Burgundy.
And yet before we go, let's not forget the noble Duke of Bedford, late deceased, but see his exequies fulfilled in Rouen. A braver soldier never couched lance, a gentle heart did never sway in court, but kings and mightiest potentates must die, for that's the end of human misery.
Exeunt. Scene Tertia. Enter Charles, bastard, Alençon, Pucelle.
Dismay not, princes, at this accident, nor grieve that Rouen is so recovered. Care is no cure, but rather corrosive, for things that are not to be remedied. Let frantic Talbot triumph for a while, and like a peacock sweep along his tail. We'll pull his plumes and take away his train, if Dauphin and the rest will be but ruled.
We have been guided by thee hitherto, and of thy cunning had no diffidence. One sudden foil shall never breed distrust.
Search out thy wit for secret policies, and we will make thee famous through the world.
We'll set thy statue in some holy place, and have thee reverenced like a blessed saint, Employ thee then, sweet virgin, for our good.
Then thus it must be. This doth Joan devise. By fair persuasions, mixed with sugar words, we will entice the Duke of Borgogne to leave the Talbot and to follow us.
I marry, sweeting, if we could do that. France were no place for Henry's warriors, nor should that nation boast it so with us, but be extirped from our provinces.
Forever should they be expulsed from France, and not have title of an earldom here.
Your honor shall perceive how I will work to bring this matter to the wished end.
Drum sounds afar off.
Hark! By the sound of drum, you may perceive their powers are marching unto Parisward.
Here sounds an English march.
There goes the Talbot with his colors spread, and all the troops of English after him.
French march.
Now in the rearward comes the Duke and his. Fortune and favor makes him lag behind. Summon a parley, we will talk with him.
Trumpet sounds a parley.
A parley with the Duke of Burgundy.
Who craves a parley with the Burgundy?
The princely Charles of France, thy countryman.
What sayest thou, Charles? For I am marching hence.
Speak, Pucelle, and enchant him with thy words.
Brave Borgogne, undoubted hope of France, stay. Let thy humble handmaid speak to thee.
Speak on, but be not over tedious.
Look on thy country, look on fertile France, and see the cities and the towns defaced by wasting ruin of the cruel foe, as looks the mother on her lowly babe, when death doth close his tender dying eyes. See the pining malady of France. Behold the wounds, the most unnatural wounds which thou thyself have given her woeful breast. Oh, turn thy edged sword another way. Strike those that hurt, and hurt not those that help. One drop of blood drawn from thy country's bosom should grieve thee more than streams of foreign gore. Return thee therefore with a flood of tears, and wash away thy country's stained spots.
Either she hath bewitched me with her words, or nature makes me suddenly relent.
Besides, all French and France exclaims on thee, doubting thy birth and lawful progeny, who joinst thou with, but with a lordly nation that will not trust thee but for profit's sake. When Talbot hath set footing once in France, and fashioned thee that instrument of ill, who then but English Henry will be lord, and thou be thrust out like a fugitive? Call we to mind, and mark but this for proof. Was not the Duke of Orleans thy foe? And was he not in England prisoner? But when they heard he was thine enemy, they set him free, without his ransom paid, in spite of Burgundy or all his friends. See then, thou fight'st against thy countrymen, and joints with them will be thy slaughtermen. Come, return, thou wandering lord. Charles and the rest will take thee in their arms.
I am vanquished. These haughty words of hers have battered me like roaring cannon shot, and made me almost yield upon my knees. Forgive me, country, and sweet countrymen, and lords, accept this hearty, kind embrace. My forces and my power of men are yours. So farewell, Talbot, I'll no longer trust thee.
Done like a Frenchman. Turn and turn again.
Welcome, brave Duke. Thy friendship makes us fresh,
and doth beget new courage in our breasts.
Pucelle hath bravely played her part in this, and doth deserve a coronet of gold.
Now let us on, my lords, and join our powers, and seek how we may prejudice the foe.
Exeunt, sine quarta. Enter the King, Gloucester, Winchester, York, Suffolk, Somerset, Warwick, Exeter, to them with his soldiers, Talbot.
My gracious prince and honourable peers, hearing of your arrival in this realm, I have a while given truce unto my wars, to do my duty to my sovereign. In sign whereof this arm that hath reclaimed to your obedience 50 fortresses, 12 cities, and 7 walled towns of strength, beside 500 prisoners of esteem, lets fall his sword before your highness' feet, and with submissive loyalty of heart ascribes the glory of his conquest got, first to my God, and next unto your grace.
Is this the Lord Talbot, Uncle Gloucester, that hath so long been resident in France?
Yes, if it please your majesty, my liege.
Welcome, brave captain and victorious lord. When I was young, as yet I am not old, I do remember how my father said a stouter champion never handled sword. Long since we were resolved of your truth, your faithful service, and your toil in war. Yet never have you tasted our reward, or been reguerded with so much as thanks. Because till now we never saw your face. Therefore stand up, and for these good deserts we here create you Earl of Shrewsbury, and in our coronation take your place. Senate, flourish, exeunt, Manet, Vernon, and Bassett.
I read Vernon before. I guess I will again. Now, sir, to you that were so hot at sea, disgracing of these colors that I wear, in honor of my noble Lord of York, darest thou maintain the former words thou spakest?
Yes, sir, as well as you dare patronage the envious barking of your saucy tongue against my lord the Duke of Somerset.
Sirrah, thy lord I honor as he is.
Why, what is he? As good a man as York?
Hark ye not so, in witness take ye that bit.
Oh, villain! Thou knowest the law of arms is such, that whoso draws a sword 'tis present death, or else this blow should else broach thy dearest blood. But I'll unto his majesty, and crave I may have liberty to venge this wrong. When thou shalt see, I'll meet thee to thy cost.
Well, miscreant, I'll be there as soon as you, and after meet you sooner than you would.
Exeunt. Actus Cordis Sine Proma. Enter King, Gloucester, Winchester, York, Suffolk, Somerset, Warwick, Talbot, and Governor Exeter.
Lord Bishop, set the crown upon his head.
God save King Henry of that name the Sixt.
Now, Governor of Paris, take your oath that you elect no other king but him. Esteem none friends but such as are his friends, and none your foes but such as shall pretend malicious practices against his state. This shall ye do, so help you righteous God.
Enter Falstaff.
My gracious sovereign, as I rode from Calais to haste unto your coronation, a letter was delivered to my hands, writ to your grace from the Duke of Burgundy.
Shame to the Duke of Burgundy and thee! I vowed, base knight, when I did meet ye next, to tear the garter from thy craven's leg, which I have done, because unworthily thou wast installed in that high degree. Pardon me, princely Henry, and the rest. This dastard at the battle of Poitiers, when but in all I was 6,000 strong, and that the French were almost 10 to 1, before we met, or that a stroke was given, like to a trusty squire, did run away, in which assault we lost 1,200 men. Myself and divers gentlemen besides were there surprised and taken prisoners. Then judge, great lords, if I have done amiss, or whether that such cowards ought to wear this ornament of knighthood. Yea or no?
To say the truth, this fact was infamous and ill beseeming any common man, much more a knight, a captain, and a leader.
When first this order was ordained, my lords, knights of the Garter were of noble birth, valiant and virtuous, full of haughty courage, such as were grown to credit by the wars, not fearing death, nor shrinking for distress, but always resolute in most extremes. He then that is not furnished in this sort doth but usurp the sacred name of knight, profaning this most honourable order, and should, if I were worthy to be judge, be quite degraded like a hedge-born swain that doth presume to boast of gentle blood.
Stain to thy countrymen. Thou hearest thy doom. Be panting therefore. Thou that wast a knight, henceforth we banish thee on pain of death. And now, Lord Protector, view the letter sent from our uncle, Duke of Burgundy.
What means his grace that he has changed his style, no more but plain and bluntly? Hath he forgot he is his sovereign, or doth this churlish superscription pretend some alteration goodwill? Oh, what's here? I will read it. I have upon a special cause moved with compassion of my country's wrack, together with the pitiful complaints of such as your oppression feeds upon, forsaken your pernicious faction, and joined with Charles, the rightful king of France. Oh, monstrous treachery, can this be so? That in alliance, amity, and oaths there should be found such false dissembling guile?
Well, what? Doth my uncle Burgundy revolt?
He doth, my lord, and is become your foe.
Is that the worst this letter doth contain?
It is the worst in all, my lord, he writes.
Why, then Lord Talbot there shall talk with him and give him chastisement for this abuse. How say you, my lord? Are you not content?
Content, my liege? Yes. Though I am prevented, I should have begged I might have been employed.
Then gather strength and march unto him straight. Let him perceive how ill we brook his treason, and what offence it is to flout his friends.
I go, my lord, in heart desiring still you may behold confusion in your foes.
Enter Vernon and Basset.
Grant me the combat, gracious sovereign.
And me, my lord, grant me the combat too.
This is my servant. Hear him, noble prince.
And this is mine, sweet Henry. Favour him.
Be patient, lords, and give them leave to speak. Say, gentlemen, what makes you thus exclaim, and wherefore crave you combat, or with whom?
With him, my lord, for he hath done me wrong.
And I with him, for he hath done me wrong. Why, what is that wrong whereof you both complain? First let me know, and then I'll answer you. Crossing the sea from England into France, this fellow...
Crossing the sea from England into France, this fellow here with envious carping tongue upbraided me about the rose I wear, saying the sanguine colours of the leaves did represent my master's blushing cheeks, when stubbornly he did repugn the truth about a certain question in the law, argued betwixt the Duke of York and him, with other vile and ignominious terms, in confutation of which rude reproach, and in defence of my lord's worthiness, I crave the benefit of law of arms.
And that is my petition, noble lord. For though he seem with forged quaint conceit to set a gloss upon his bold intent, yet no, my lord, I was provoked by him, and he first took exceptions at this badge, pronouncing that the paleness of this flower bewrayed the faintness of my master's heart.
Will not this malice, Somerset, be left?
Your private grudge, my lord of York, will out, though ne'er so cunningly you smother it.
Good Lord, what madness rules in brain-sick men when for so slight and frivolous a cause such factious emulations shall arise? Good cousins, both of York and Somerset, quiet yourselves, I pray, and be at peace.
Let this dissension first be tried by fight. Then your highness may command a peace.
The quarrel toucheth none but us alone. Betwixt ourselves let us decide it then.
There is my pledge. Accept it, Somerset.
Nay, let it rest where it began at first.
Confirm it so, mine honourable lord.
Confirm it so. Confounded be your strife, and perish ye with your audacious prate. Presumptuous vassals, are you not ashamed with this immodest, clamorous outrage to trouble and disturb the king and us? And you, my lords, methinks you do well to bear with their perverse objections, much less to take occasion from their mouths. To raise a mutiny betwixt yourselves, let me persuade you, take a better course.
It grieves his highness. Good my lords, be friends.
Come hither, you that would be combatants. Henceforth I charge you, as you love our favor, quite to forget this quarrel and the cause, and you, my lords, remember where we are, in France, amongst a fickle, wavering nation. If they perceive dissension in our looks, and that within ourselves we disagree, how will their grudging stomachs be provoked to wilful disobedience and rebel? Besides, what infamy will there arise when foreign princes shall be certified that for a toy, a thing of no regard, King Henry's peers and chief nobility destroyed themselves and lost the realm of France? Oh, think upon the conquest of my father, my tender years, and let us not forego that for a trifle that was bought with blood, let me be umpire in this doubtful strife. I see no reason, if I wear this rose, that any one should therefore be suspicious I'm more inclined to Somerset than York. Both are my kinsmen, and I love them both, as well they may upbraid me with my crown, because, forsooth, the King of Scots is crowned. But your discretions better can persuade than I am able to instruct or teach, and therefore, as we hither came in peace, so let us still continue peace and love. Cousin of York, we institute your grace to be our regent in these parts of France, and good my lord Somerset, unite your troops of horsemen with his bands of foot, and like true subjects, son of your progenitors, go cheerfully together, and digest your angry choler on your enemies. Ourself, my Lord Protector, and the rest, after some respite, will return to Calais, and thence to England, where I hope ere long to be presented by your victories with Charles Alanson and that traitorous rout. Exit Manet, York, Warwick, Exeter, and Vernon.
My lord of York, I promise you the king prettily, methought, did play the orator.
And so he did. But yet I like it not, in that he wears the badge of Somerset.
Tush, that was but his fancy, blame him not. I do presume, sweet prince, he thought no harm.
And if I wish he did, but let it rest. Other affairs must now be managed.
Exeunt, flourish, Manet, Exeter.
Well didst thou, Richard, to suppress thy voice, for had the passions of thy heart burst out, I fear we should have seen deciphered there more rancorous spite, more furious, raging broils, than yet can be imagined or supposed. But howsoe'er, no simple man that sees this jarring discord of nobility, this shouldering of each other in the court, this factious bandying of their favorites, but that it does presage some ill event. 'Tis much, when sceptres are in children's hands. But more, when envy breeds unkind division, there comes the ruin, there begins confusion.
Exit. Enter Talbot, who with trumpet and drum before Bordeaux.
Go to the gates of Bordeaux, trumpeter. Summon the general unto the wall.
Sounds. Enter General aloft.
English John Talbot, captains, call you forth, servant in arms to Harry, King of England, and thus he would. Open your city gates, be humble to us, call my sovereign yours, and do him homage as obedient subjects, and I'll withdraw me and my bloody power. But if you frown upon this proffered peace, you tempt the fury of my 3 attendants, lean Flamen, quartering steel and climbing fire, who in a moment, even with the earth, shall lay your stately and air-braving towers, if you forsake the offer of their love.
Now, ominous and fearful owl of death, our nation's terror and their bloody scourge, the period of thy tyranny approacheth. On us thou canst not enter but by death. For I protest we are well fortified and strong enough to issue out and fight. If thou retire, the dolphin, well appointed, stands with the snares of war to tangle thee. On either hand thee there are squadrons pitched to wall thee from the liberty of flight, and no way canst thou turn thee for redress, but death doth front thee with an apparent spoil, and pale destruction meets thee in the face. 10,000 French have ta'en the sacrament to rive their dangerous artillery upon no Christian soul but English Talbot. Lo, there thou stand'st, a breathing valiant man, of an invincible unconquered spirit. This is the latest glory of thy praise, that I, thy enemy, do thee withal. For ere the glass that now begins to run finish the process of his sandy hour, these eyes that see thee now well colored shall see thee withered, bloody, pale, and dead. Drum afar off. Hark! Hark! The dolphin's drum, a warning bell, sings heavy music to thy timorous soul, and mine shall ring thy dire departure out.
He fables not. I hear the enemy. Out, some light horsemen, and peruse their wings. Oh, negligent and heedless discipline! How are we parked and bounded in a pale, a little herd of England's timorous deer, mazed with a yelping kennel of French curs. If we be English deer, but be then in blood, not rascal-like to fall down with a pinch, but rather moody mad. Desperate stags turn on the bloody hounds with heads of steel, and makes the cowards stand aloof at bay. Sell every man his life as dear as mine, and they shall find dear of us, my friends. God and St. George, Talbot and England's right, prosperous colours in this dangerous fight.
Enter a messenger that meets York, and to York with trumpet and many soldiers.
Are not the speedy scouts returned again that dogged the mighty army of the Dolphin?
They are returned, my lord, and give it out that he has marched to Bordeaux with his power to fight with Talbot. As he marched along, by your espials were discovered 2 mightier troops than that the Dolphin led, which joined with him and made their march for Bordeaux.
A plague upon that villain Somerset, that thus delays my promised supply of horsemen that were levied for this siege. Renowned Talbot doth expect my aid, and I am lowered by a traitor villain, and cannot help the noble chevalier. God comfort him in this necessity. If he miscarry, farewell wars in France.
Enter another messenger.
Thou princely leader of our English strength, never so needful on the earth of France, spurred to the rescue of the noble Talbot, who now is girdled with a waist of iron and hemmed about with grim destruction. To Bordeaux, warlike you, to Bordeaux, York. Else farewell, Talbot, France, and England's honour.
Oh God, that Somerset, who in proud heart doth stop my cornets, were in Talbot's place. So should we save a valiant gentleman by forfeiting a traitor and a coward. Mad ire and wrathful fury makes me weep, that thus we die while remiss traitors sleep.
Oh, send some succor to the distressed lord.
He dies, we lose. I break my warlike word. We mourn, France smiles. We lose, they daily get, all along of this vile traitor Somerset.
Then God take mercy on brave Talbot's soul, and on his son, young John, who 2 hours since I met in travel toward his warlike father. This 7 years did not Talbot see his son, and now they meet where both their lives are done.
Alas, what joy shall noble Talbot have to bid his young son welcome to his grave? Away, vexation almost stops my breath that sundered friends greet in the hour of death. Lucy, farewell. No more my fortune can, but curse the cause. I cannot aid the man. Blois, Poitiers, and Tours are won away. Long all of Somerset at his delay.
Thus, while the vulture of sedition feeds in the bosom of such great commanders, sleeping neglection doth betray to loss the conquest of our scarce cold conqueror, that ever-living man of memory, Henry the Fifth, whilst they each other cross, lives, honors, lands, and all hurry to lose.
Enter Somerset with his army.
It is too late. I cannot send them now. This expedition was by York and Talbot too rashly plotted. All our general force might with a sally of the very town be buckled with. The over-daring Talbot has sullied all his gloss of former honour by this unheedful, desperate, and wild adventure. York set him on to fight and die in shame, that Talbot dead, great York might bear the name.
Here is Sir William Lucy, who with me set from our o'ermatched forces forth for aid.
Ah, how now, Sir William? Whither went you sent?
Whether, my lord, from bought and sold Lord Talbot, who ringed about with bold adversity, cries out for noble York and Somerset to beat assailing death from his weak regions, and whiles the honourable captain there drops bloody sweat from his war-wearied limbs, and in advantage lingering looks for rescue, you, his false hopes and the trust of England's honour, keep off aloof with worthless emulation. Let not your private discord keep away the levied succours that should lend him aid, while he, renowned noble gentleman, yield up his life unto a world of odds. Orleans, the bastard, Charles, Burgundy, Alençon, Regnard, compass him about, and Talbot perishes by your default.
York set him on. York should have sent him aid.
And York as fast upon your grace exclaims, swearing that you withhold his levied host, collected for this exhibition.
York lies. He might have sent and had the horse. I owe him little duty and less love, and take foul scorn to fawn on him by sending.
The fraud of England, not the force of France, hath now entrapped the noble-minded Talbot. Never to England shall he bear his life, but dies, betrayed to fortune by your strife.
Come on, I will dispatch the horsemen straight. Within 6 hours they will be at his aid.
Too late comes rescue. He is ta'en or slain, for fly he could not if he would have fled, and fly would Talbot never, though he might.
If he be dead, brave Talbot, then adieu.
His fame lives in the world, his shame on you.
Exeunt. Enter Talbot and his son.
O young John Talbot, I did send for thee to tutor thee in stratagems of war, that Talbot's name might be in thee revived, when sapless age and weak unable limbs should bring thy father to his drooping chair. But O malignant and ill-boding stars, now thou art come unto a feast of death, a terrible and unavoided danger. Therefore, dear boy, mount on my swifted horse, and I'll direct thee how thou shalt escape by sudden flight. Come, dally not, be gone.
Is my name Talbot? And am I your son? And shall I fly? Oh, if you love my mother, dishonour not her honourable name to make a bastard and a slave of me. The world will say he is not Talbot's blood that basely fled when noble Talbot stood.
Fly, to revenge my death if I be slain.
He that flies so will ne'er return again.
If we both stay, we both shall sure to die.
Then let me stay, and father, do you fly. Your loss is great, so your regard should be. My worth unknown, no loss is known in me. Upon my death the French can little boast. In yours they will, in you all hopes are lost. Flight cannot stain the honour you have won, but mine it will, that no exploit have done. You fled for vantage, everyone will swear, but if I bow, they'll say it was for fear. There is no hope that ever I will stay. If the first hour I shrink and run away, here on my knee I beg mortality rather than life, preserved with infamy.
Shall all thy mother's hopes lie in one tomb?
I, rather than I'll shame my mother's wound.
Upon my blessing, I command thee, go.
To fight I will, but not to fly the foe.
Part of thy father may be saved in thee.
No part of him but will be shame in me.
Thou never hadst renown, nor canst not lose it.
Yes, your renowned name. Shall flight abuse it?
Thy father's charge shall clearly from this stain.
You cannot witness for me being slain. If death be so apparent, then both fly.
And leave my followers here to fight and die? My age was never tainted with such shame.
And shall my youth be guilty of such blame? No more can I be severed from your side than can yourself in twain divide. Stay, go, do what you will, the like do I, for live I will not if my father die.
Then here I take my leave of thee, fair son, born to eclipse thy life this afternoon. Come, side by side, together live and die, and soul with soul from France to heaven fly.
Exit! Alarum! Excursions! Wherein Talbot's son is hemmed about, and Talbot rescues him.
St. George and victory! Fight, soldiers! Fight! The regent hath with Talbot broke his word, and left us to the rage of France his sword. Where is John Talbot? Pause and take thy breath. I gave thee life and rescued thee from death.
Oh, twice, my father, twice am I thy son. The life thou gavest me first was lost and done, till with thy warlike sword, despite of fate, to my determined time thou gavest new date.
When from the Dauphin's crest thy sword struck fire, it warmed thy father's heart with proud desire of bold-faced victory. Then leaden age, quickened with useful spleen and warlike rage, beat down Alençon, Orleans, Burgundy, and from the pride of Valier rescued thee. The ireful bastard Orleans that drew blood from thee, my boy, and had the maidenhood of thy first fight, I soon encountered, and interchanging blows, I quickly shed some of his bastard blood, and in disgrace bespoke him thus: contaminated, base, and misbegotten blood I spill of thine, mean and right poor, for that pure blood of mine which thou did force from Talbot. My brave boy, here purposing the bastard to destroy, came in strong rescue. Speak thy father's care. Art thou not weary, John? How dost thou fare? Wilt thou yet leave the battle, boy, and fly? Now art thou sealed the son of chivalry. Fly to revenge my death when I am dead. The help of one stands me in little stead. Oh, it is too much folly is it, well I wot, to hazard all our lives in one small boat. If I today die not with Frenchman's rage, tomorrow I shall die with mickle age. By me they nothing gain, and if I stay, 'tis but the shortening of my life one day. In thee thy mother dies, our household's name, my death's revenge, thy youth, and England's fame. All these and more we hazard by thy stay. All these are saved if thou wilt fly away.
The sword of Orleans hath not made me smart. These words of yours draw life blood from my heart. On that advantage, bought with such a shame, to save a paltry life and slay bright fame, before young Talbot from old Talbot fly, the coward horse that bears me fall and die, and like me to the peasant boys of France, to be shame, scorn, and subject of mischance. Surely by all the glory you have won, and if I fly, I am not Talbot's son. Then talk no more of flight, it is no boot. If son to Talbot, then die at Talbot's foot.
Then follow thou thy desperate sire of Crete, thou Icarus, Thy life to me is sweet. If thou wilt fight, fight by thy father's side, and commendably proved. Let's die in pride.
Exit alarum excursions. Enter old Talbot led.
Where is my other life? Mine own is gone. Oh, where's young Talbot? Where is valiant John? Triumphant death smeared with captivity, young Talbot's valor makes me smile at thee. When he perceived me shrink, and on my knee his bloody sword he brandished over me, and like a hungry lion did commence rough deeds of rage and stern impatience. But when my angry garden stood alone, tendering my ruin and assailed of none, dizzy-eyed fury and great rage of heart suddenly made him from my side to start into the clustering battle of the French. And in that sea of blood my boy did drench his overmounting spirit, and there did die my Icarus, my blossom, in his pride.
Enter with John Talbot born. Oh, my dear lord, lo, where your son is born.
Thou antique death, which laugh'st us here to scorn, anon from thy insulting tyranny, coupled in bonds of perpetuity, two Talbots winged through the lither sky, in thy despite shall scape mortality. O thou whose wounds become hard-favoured death, speak to thy father, ere thou yield thy breath. Brave death by speaking, whether he will or no. Imagine him a Frenchman and thy foe. Poor boy. He smiles, methinks, as who would say, had death been French, then death had died today. Come, come and lay him in his father's arms. My spirit can no longer bear these harms. Soldiers, adieu. I have what I would have, and now my old arms are young John Talbot's grave.
Dies. Enter Charles Alanson, Burgundy, Bastard, and Pucelle.
Had York and Somerset brought rescue in, we should have found a bloody day of this.
How the young whelp Talbot.
How the young whelp of Talbot's raging wood did flesh his puny sword in Frenchman's blood.
Once I encountered him, and thus I said, Thou maiden youth, be vanquished by a maid. But with a proud, majestical, high scorn he answered thus, Young Talbot was not born to be the pillage of a Gigot wench. So rushing in the bowels of the French, he left me proudly as unworthy fight.
Doubtless he would have made a noble knight. See where he lies, and hearsed in the arms of the most bloody nurser of his harms.
Hew them to pieces, hack their bones asunder, whose life was England's glory, Gallia's wonder.
Oh no, forbear, for that which we have fled during the life, let us not wrong it dead.
Enter Lucy.
Herald, conduct me to the Dolphin's tent to know who hath obtained the glory of the day. Oh, what submissive message art thou sent? Submission, Dolphin, 'tis a mere French word. We English warriors wot not what it means. I come to know what prisoners thou hast ta'en, and to survey the bodies of the dead. For prisoners ask'st thou? Hell our prison is, but tell me whom thou seek'st. But where's the great Alcides of the field, valiant Lord Talbot, Earl of Shrewsbury? created for his rare success in arms, great Earl of Washford, Waterford, and Valiance, Lord Talbot of Goodrig and Urchinfield, Lord Strange of Blackmere, Lord Verdon of Alton, Lord Cromwell of Wingfield, Lord Furnival of Sheffield, the thrice victorious Lord Falconbridge, Knight of the Noble Order of St. George, worthy St. Michael and the Golden Fleece, great Marshal to Henry VI, of all his wars within the realm of France.
Here's a silly, stately style indeed. The Turk that 52 kingdoms hath writes not so tedious a style as this. Him that thou magnifiest with all these titles, stinking and fly-blown, lies here at our feet.
Is Talbot slain, the Frenchman's only scourge, your kingdom's terror and black nemesis? Oh, were mine eyeballs into bullets turned, that I in rage might shoot them at your faces. Oh, that I could but call these dead to life, it were enough to fright the realm of France. Were but his picture left amongst you here, it would amaze the proudest of you all. Give me their bodies that I may bear them hence, and give them burial as beseems their worth.
I think this upstart is old Talbot's ghost. He speaks with such a proud, commanding spirit. For God's sake, let him have him to keep them here. They would but stink and petrify the air.
Go, take their bodies hence. I'll bear them hence, but from their ashes shall be reared a phoenix that shall make all France afeard. So we be rid of them. Do with them what you will. And now to Paris in this conquering vein, all will be ours, now bloody Talbot's shame.
Slain. Exit. Scena Secunda. Senate. Enter King Gloucester and Exeter.
Okay.
Have you perused the letters from the Pope, the Emperor, and the Earl of Armagnac?
I have, my lord, and their intent is this. They humbly sue unto your excellence to have a godly peace concluded of between the realms of England and of France.
How doth your grace affect their motion?
Oh, well, my good, and as the only means to stop effusion of our Christian blood and stabilize quietness on every side.
Ay, marry, uncle, for I always thought it was both impious and unnatural that such immanity and bloody strife should reign among professors of one faith.
Besides, my lord, the sooner to effect and surer bind the knot of amity, the Earl of Armagnac, near knit to Charles, a man of great authority in France, proffers his only daughter to your grace in marriage with a large and sumptuous dowry.
Marriage, uncle? Alas, my years are young, and fitter is my study and my books than wanton dalliance with a paramour. Yet call the ambassadors, and as you please, so let them have their answers, every one. I shall be well content with any choice tends to God's glory and my country's weal. Enter Winchester and 3 ambassadors.
What, is my Lord of Winchester installed and called unto a cardinal's degree? Then I perceive that will be verified Henry V did sometime prophesy. If once he come to be a cardinal, he'll make his cap co-equal with the crown.
My lords, ambassadors, your several suits have been considered and debated on. Your purpose is both good and reasonable, and therefore are we certainly resolved to draw conditions of a friendly peace, which by my Lord of Winchester we mean shall be transported presently to France.
And for the proffer of my lord your master, I have informed his highness so at large, as liking of the lady's virtuous gifts, her beauty, and the value of her dowry, he doth intend she shall be England's queen.
In argument and proof of which contract, bear her this jewel, pledge of my affection. And so, my Lord Protector, see them guarded and safely brought to Dover, wherein ships commit them to the fortune of the sea. Exit.
Stay, my Lord Legate. You shall first receive the sum of money which I promised should be delivered to His Holiness for clothing me in these grave ornaments.
I will attend upon your lordship's leisure.
Now, Winchester will not submit, I trow, or be inferior to the proudest peer. Humphrey of Gloucester, thou shalt well perceive that neither in birth or for authority the bishop will be overborne by thee. I'll either make thee stoop and bend thy knee, or sack this country with a mutiny.
Exeunt. Scene Tertia. Enter Charles, Burgundy, Alençon, Bastard, Regnier, and Joan.
These news, my lords, may cheer our drooping spirits. 'Tis said the stout Parisians do revolt, and turn again unto the warlike French.
Then march to Paris, Royal Charles of France, and keep not back your powers and dalliance.
Peace be amongst them if they turn to us, else ruin combat with their palaces.
Enter Scout. Success unto our valiant general, and happiness to his accomplices.
What tidings send our scouts? I prithee speak.
The English army that divided was into two parties is now conjoined in one, and means to give you battle presently.
Somewhat too sudden, sirs, the warning is, but we will presently provide for them.
I trust the ghost of Talbot is not there. Now he is gone, my lord, you need not fear.
Of all base passions, fear is most accursed. Command the conquest, Charles, it shall be thine. Let Henry fret, and all the world repine.
Then on, my lords, and France be fortunate.
Alarum. Excursions. Enter Joan de Pucelle.
The regent conquers, and the Frenchmen fly. Now help ye, charming spells and imperiats, and ye choice spirits that admonish me, and give me signs of future accidents.
Thunder.
You speedy helpers that are substitutes under the lordly monarch of the north, appear and aid me in this enterprise.
Enter Fiends.
This speedy and quick appearance argues proof of your accustomed diligence to me. Now, ye familiar spirits that are cold out of the powerful regions under earth, help me this once that France may get the field.
They walk and speak not.
Oh, hold me not with silence over long. Where I was wont to feed you with my blood, I'll lop a member off and give it you, in earnest of a further benefit. So you do condescend to help me now.
They hang their heads.
No hope to have redress? My body shall repay recompense if you will grant my suit.
They shake their heads.
Cannot my body, nor blood sacrifice, entreat you to your wonted furtherance? Then take my soul, my body, soul and all, before that England give the French the foil.
They depart.
See, they forsake me. Now the time has come that France must veil her lofty plumed crest and let her head fall into England's lap. My ancient incantations are too weak, and hell too strong for me to buckle with. Now France thy glory droopeth to the dust.
Exit. Excursions. Burgundy and York fight hand to hand. French fly.
Damsel of France, I think I have you fast. Unchain your spirits now with spelling charms, and try if they can gain your liberty, a goodly prize for the devil's grace. See how the ugly witch doth bend her brows, as if with Circe she would change my shape.
Changed to a worser shape thou canst not be.
Oh, Charles the Dolphin is a proper man. No shape but his can please your dainty eye.
Plaguing mischief light on Charles, and thee, and may ye both be suddenly surprised by bloody hands and sleeping on your beds.
Spell-banning hag, enchantress, so hold thy tongue.
I prithee, give me leave to curse a while.
Curse, miscreant, when thou comest to the stake.
Exeunt. Alarum, enter Suffolk with Margaret in his hand. Be what thou wilt, thou art my prisoner. O fairest beauty, do not fear nor fly, for I will touch thee but with reverent hands. I kiss these fingers for eternal peace, and lay them gently on thy tender side. Who art thou, say, that I may honor thee?
Margaret my name, and daughter to a king, the king of Naples, whosoe'er thou art.
An earl I am, and Suffolk am I called. Be not offended, nature's miracle, that thou art allotted to be ta'en by me. So doth the swan her downy cygnet save, keeping them prisoner underneath his wing. Yet, if this servile usage once offend, go and be free again as Suffolk's friend. She is going. Oh, stay! I have no power to let her pass. My hand would free her, but my heart says no. As plays the sun upon the glassy streams, twinkling another counterfeited beam, so seems this gorgeous beauty to mine eyes. Fain would I woo her, yet I dare not speak. I'll call for pen and ink and write my mind. Fie, de la Poole, disable not thyself. Hast not a tongue? Is not she not here? Wilt thou be daunted at a woman's sight? Aye. Beauty's princely majesty is such, confounds the tongue and makes the senses rough.
Say, Earl of Suffolk, if thy name be so, what ransom must I pay before I pass? For I perceive I am thy prisoner.
How canst thou tell she will deny thy suit before thou makest a trial of her love?
Why speakst thou not? What ransom must I pay?
She's beautiful, and therefore to be wooed. She is a woman, therefore to be won.
Wilt thou accept of ransom, yea or no?
Oh, man, remember, thou hast a wife. Then how can Margaret be thy paramour?
I were best to leave him, for he will not hear.
There all is marred. There lies a cooling card.
He talks at random. Sure, the man is mad.
And yet, a dispensation may be had.
And yet, I would that you would answer me.
I'll win this lady, Margaret. For whom? Why, for my king. Oh, tush, that's a wooden thing.
He talks of wood. It is some carpenter.
Yet so my fancy may be satisfied, and peace established between these realms. There remains a scruple in that too, for though her father be the King of Naples, Duke of Anjou and Maine, yet is he poor, and our nobility will scorn the match.
Hear ye, Captain! Are you not at leisure?
It shall be so. Disdain they ne'er so much. Henry is youthful and will quickly yield. Madam, I have a secret to reveal.
What? Though I be enthralled, he seems a knight, and will not any way dishonor me.
Lady, vouchsafe to listen what I say.
Perhaps I shall be rescued by the French, and then I need not crave his courtesy.
Sweet madam, give me hearing in a cause.
Tush, women have been captive ere now.
Lady, wherefore talk you so?
I pray you 'tis but quid for quo.
Say, gentle princess, would you not suppose your bondage happy to be made a queen?
To be a queen in bondage is more vile than a slave in base servility, for princes should be free.
And so shall you, if happy England's royal king be free.
Why, what concerns his freedom unto me?
I'll undertake to make thee Henry's queen, to put a golden scepter in thy hand, and set a precious crown upon thy head, if thou wilt condescend to be my...
What?
His love.
I am unworthy to be Henry's wife.
No, gentle madam, I unworthy am to woo so fair a dame to be his wife, and have no portion of the choice myself. How say ye, madam, are ye so content?
And if my father please, I am content.
Then call our captains and our colours forth, and madam at your father's castle walls will crave a parley to confer with him. Sound, enter Rainier on the walls. See, Rainier, see, thy daughter prisoner. To whom? To me. Suffolk, what remedy? I am a soldier and unapt to weep or to exclaim on fortune's fickleness. Yes, there is remedy enough, my lord. Consent, and for thy honour give consent. Thy daughter shall be wedded to my king, whom I with pain have wooed and won thereto, and this her easy held imprisonment hath gained thy daughter princely liberty. Speaks Suffolk as he thinks. Fair Margaret knows that Suffolk doth not flatter or feign. Upon thy princely warrant I descend to give the answer of thy just demand. And here I will expect thy coming. Trumpet sounds, enter Rainier. Welcome, brave earl, unto our territories. Command in Anjou what your honour pleases. Thanks, Rainier. Happy for so sweet a child, fit to be made companion with a king. What answer makes your grace unto my suit? Since thou dost deign to woo her little worth to be the princely bride of such a lord, upon condition I may quietly enjoin mine own, the country Maine and Anjou, free from oppression or the stroke of war, my daughter shall be Henry's, if he please. That is her ransom. I will deliver her, and those 2 counties I will undertake your grace shall well and quietly enjoy. And I again, in Henry's royal name, as deputy unto that gracious king, give thee her hand for sign of plighted faith. Rainier of France, I give thee kingly thanks, because this is in traffic of a king, and yet methinks I could be well content to be mine own attorney in this case. I'll over then to England with this news, and make this marriage to be solemnized. So farewell, Rainier, set this diamond safe in golden palaces as it becomes. I do embrace thee as I would embrace the Christian Prince King Henry were he here.
Farewell, my lord. Good wishes, praise, and prayers shall Suffolk ever have of Margaret.
Farewell, sweet madam, but hark you, Margaret, no princely commendations to my king?
Such commendations as becomes a maid, a virgin, and his servant say to him.
Words sweetly placed and modestly directed. But, madam, I must trouble you again. No loving token to his majesty?
Yes, my good lord, a pure, unspotted heart, never yet taint with love, I send the king.
And this withal, kisses her.
That for thyself. I will not so presume to send such peevish tokens to a king.
Oh, wert thou for myself! But Suffolk, stay. Thou mayst not wander in that labyrinth. There minotaurs and ugly treasons lurk. Solicit Henry with her wondrous praise. Bethink thee on her virtues that surmount mad natural graces that extinguish art. Repeat their semblances often on the seas, that whence thou comest to kneel at Henry's feet, thou mayst bereave him of his wits and wonder. Exit. Enter York Warwick Shepherd Pucelle.
Bring forth that sorceress condemned to burn.
Ah, Joan, this kills thy father's heart outright. Have I sought every country, far and near, and now it is my chance to find thee out. Must I behold thy timeless, cruel death? Ah, Joan, sweet daughter Joan, I'll die with thee.
Decrepit miser, base ignoble wretch, I am descended of a gentler blood. Thou art no father, nor no friend of mine.
Out, out! My lords, and please you, 'tis not so. I did beget her, all the parish knows. Her mother liveth yet, can testify. She was the first fruit of my bachelorship.
Graceless, wilt thou deny thy parentage?
This argues what her kind of life hath been, wicked and vile, and so her death concludes.
Fie, Joan, that thou wilt be so obstacle. God knows thou art a collop to my flesh, and for thy sake I have shed many a tear. Deny me not, I prithee, gentle Joan.
Cousin Avant, you have suborned this man of purpose to obscure my noble birth.
'Tis true, I gave a noble to the priest the morn that I was wedded to her mother. Kneel down and take my blessing, good my girl. Wilt thou not stoop? Now cursed be the time of thy nativity. I would the milk thy mother gave thee when thou suck'st her breast had been a little ratsbane for thy sake. Or else, when thou didst keep my lambs afield, I wish some ravenous wolf had eaten thee. Dost thou deny thy father, cursed dram? Oh, burn her, burn her! Hanging is too good. Exit.
Take her away, for she hath lived too long to fill the world with vicious qualities.
First, let me tell you whom you have condemned. Not me, begotten of a shepherd swain, but issued from the progeny of kings, virtuous and holy, chosen from above by inspiration of celestial grace to work exceeding miracles on earth. I never had to do with wicked spirits, but you that are polluted with your lusts, stained with the guiltless blood of innocence, corrupt and tainted with 1,000 vices, because you want the grace that others have. You judge it straight, a thing impossible to accomplish wonders, but by help of devils. No misconceived. Joan of Arc had been a virgin from her tender infancy, chaste and immaculate in very thought, whose maiden blood, thus rigorously effused, will cry for vengeance at the gates of heaven.
Aye, aye, away with her to execution.
And hark ye, sirs, because she's a maid, spare for no faggots. Let there be a now. Place barrels of pitch upon the fatal stake, so her torture may be shortened.
Will nothing turn your unrelenting hearts? Then Joan discover thy infirmity, that warranteth by law to be thy privilege. I am with child, you bloody homicides. Murder not then the fruit within my womb, although ye hale me to a violent death.
Now heaven forfend the holy maid with child.
The greatest miracle that e'er ye wrought. Is all your strict preciseness come to this?
She and the dolphin have been juggling. I did imagine what would be her refuge.
Well, go to. We'll have no bastards live, especially since Charles must father it.
You are deceived. My child is none of his. It was Alençon that enjoyed my love.
Alençon, that notorious Machiavel? It dies, and if it had 1,000 lives.
Oh, give me leave, I have deluded you. 'Twas neither Charles nor yet the Duke I named, but Rainier, King of Naples, that prevailed.
A married man, that's most intolerable.
Why, here's a girl, I think she knows not well there were so many whom she may accuse.
It's sign she hath been liberal and free.
And yet, forsooth, she is a virgin pure. Strumpet, thy words condemn thy brat and thee. Use no entreaty, for it is in vain.
Then lead me hence, with whom I leave my curse. May never glorious sun reflects his beams upon the country where you make abode, but darkness and the gloomy shade of death environ you, till mischief and despair drive you to break your necks or hang yourselves.
Exit. Enter Cardinal.
Break thou in pieces and consume to ashes, thou foul, accursed minister of hell.
Lord Regent, I do greet your excellence with letters of commission from the king. For know, my lords, the states of Christendom, moved with remorse of these outrageous broils, have earnestly implored a general peace betwixt our nation and the aspiring French. And here at hand the Dolphin and his train approach to confer about some matter.
Is all our travail turned to this effect? After the slaughter of so many peers, so many captains, gentlemen, and soldiers, that in this quarrel have been overthrown and sold their bodies for the country's benefit, shall we at last conclude effeminate peace? Have we not lost most of our town? By treason, falsehood, and by treachery? Our great progenitors had conquered? Oh, Warwick, Warwick, I foresee with grief the utter loss of all the realm of France.
Be patient, York. If we conclude a peace, it shall be with such strict and severe governance as little shall the Frenchmen gain thereby.
To Charles Alanson, Bastard Renier.
Since, lords of England, it is thus agreed that peaceful truce shall be proclaimed in France, we come to be informed by yourselves what the conditions of that league must be.
Speak, Winchester, for boiling choler chokes the hollow passage of my poisoned voice by sight of these our baleful enemies.
Charles, and the rest, it is enacted thus, that in regard King Henry gives consent of mere compassion and of lenity, to ease your country of distressful war, and suffer you to breathe in fruitful peace, you shall become true liegemen to his crown, and Charles, upon condition thou wilt swear to pay him tribute and submit thyself, thou shalt be placed as viceroy under him, and still enjoy thy regal dignity.
Must he be then as a shadow of himself, adorn his temples with a coronet, and yet in substance and authority retain his privilege but of a private man? The proffer is absurd and reasonless.
'Tis known already that I am possessed with more than half the Gallian territories, and therein reverenced for their lawful king. Shall I, for lucre of the rest unvanquished, detract so much from that prerogative as to be called but viceroy of the whole? No, Lord Ambassador, I'll rather keep that which I have than coveting for more, be cast from possibility of all.
Insulting Charles, hast thou by secret means used intercession to obtain a league, and now the matter grows to compromise? Stands thou aloof upon comparison? Either accept the title thou usurpst of benefit proceeding from our king, and not of any challenge of desert, or we will plague thee with incessant wars.
My lord, you do not well in obstinacy to cavil in the course of this contract. If once it be neglected 10 to 1, we shall not find like opportunity.
To say the truth, it is your policy to save your subjects from such a massacre and ruthless slaughters as are daily seen by our proceeding in hostility, and therefore take this compact of a truth, although you break it when your pleasure serves.
How sayest thou, Charles? Shall our conditions stand?
It shall. Only reserved, you claim no interest in any of our towns of garrison.
Then swear allegiance to his majesty, as thou art knight, never to disobey. Nor be rebellious to the crown of England, nor thou nor thy nobles to the crown of England. So now dismiss your army when you please, hang up your ensigns, let your drums be still, for here we entertain a solemn peace.
Exeunt. Actus Quintus. Enter Suffolk in conference with the king, Gloucester, and Exeter. Your wondrous rare description, noble Earl, of beauteous Margaret hath astonished me. Her virtues, graced with external gifts, do breed love-settled passions in my heart, and, like his rigour of tempestuous gusts, provokes the mightiest hulk against the tide. So am I driven by breath of her renown, either to suffer shipwreck or arrive where I may have fruition of her love. Tush, my good lord, this superficial tale is but a preface of her worthy praise. The chief perfections of that lovely dame, had I sufficient skill to utter them, would make a volume of enticing lines, able to ravish any dull conceit. And, which is more, she is not so divine, so full replete with choice of all delights, but with a humble lowliness of mind. She is content to be at your command. Command, I mean, of virtuous, chaste intents to love and honor Henry as her lord. And otherwise will Henry ne'er presume. Therefore, my Lord Protector, give consent that Margaret may be England's royal queen.
So should I give consent to flatter sin? You know, my lord, your highness is betrothed unto another lady of esteem. How shall we then dispense with that contract and not deface your honor with reproach?
As doth a ruler with unlawful oaths, or one that at a triumph, having vowed to try his strength, forsaketh yet the list by reason of his adversary's odds. A poor earl's daughter is unequal odds, and therefore may be broke without offence.
Why, what I pray is Margaret more than that. Her father is no better than an earl, although in glorious titles he excels.
Yes, my lord, her father is a king, the king of Naples and Jerusalem, and of such great authority in France as his alliance will confirm our peace and keep the Frenchmen in allegiance.
And so the Earl of Armagnac may do, because he is near kinsman unto Charles.
Besides, his wealth doth warrant a liberal dower, where Rainier sooner will receive than give. A dower, my lords? Disgrace not so your king, that he should be so abject, base, and poor, to choose for wealth and not for perfect love. Henry is able to enrich his queen, and not seek a queen to make him rich. So worthless peasants bargain for their wives, as market men for oxen, sheep, or horse. Marriage is a matter of more worth than to be dealt in by attorneyship. Not whom we will, but whom his grace affects, must be companion of his nuptial bed. And therefore, lords, since he affects her most of all these reasons bindeth us. In our opinion, she should be preferred. For what is wedlock forced but a hell, an age of discord and continual strife, whereas the contrary bringeth bliss, and it is a pattern of celestial peace. Whom should we match with Henry, being a king, but Margaret, that is daughter to a king? Her peerless feature, joined with her birth, approves her fit for none but for a king. Her valiant courage and undaunted spirit, more than in women commonly is seen, will answer our hope in issue of a king. For Henry, son unto a conqueror, is likely to beget more conquerors, if with a lady of so high resolve as is fair Margaret be linked in love. Then yield, my lords, and here conclude with me that Margaret shall be queen, and none but she. Whether it be through force of your report, my noble lord of Suffolk, or for that my tender youth was never yet attainted with any passion of inflaming love, I cannot tell. But this I am assured, I feel such sharp dissension in my breast, such fierce alarms both of hope and fear, as I am sick with working of my thoughts. Take therefore shipping post my lord to France, agree to any covenants, and procure that Lady Margaret to vouchsafe to come to cross the seas to England and be crowned King Henry's faithful and anointed queen. For your experiences and sufficient charge among the people gather up a tenth. Begone, I say, for till you do return, I rest perplexed with 1,000 cares. And you, good uncle, banish all offence if you do censure me by what you were, not what you are. I know it will excuse the sudden execution of my will, and so conduct me where from company I may revolve and ruminate my grief.
My grief, I fear me, both at first and last.
Exit Gloucester. Thus Suffolk hath prevailed, and thus he goes, as did the youthful Paris once to Greece, with hope to find the like event in love, but prosper better than the Trojan did. Margaret shall now be queen and rule the king, but I will rule both her, the king, and realm. Exit. Fini. So, well, that's good. All the wars with France are over and everything's happy. And and York sort of swore when he got his dukedom that he would always stay and be faithful to good King Henry. So I'm sure everything will just work out fine. In case it doesn't, this was only part one, and we do have parts 2, parts 3, and then Richard III.
Yeah, but Sir John Falstaff died during Henry V.
This is a different Sir John Falstaff.
Yeah, I figured.
That's one of the problems. That's also, you get very confused in here because we have a Duke of Somerset here, and we have a Duke of Somerset in part 2. But then he gets killed, and then we have another Duke of Somerset in part 3, who is his son. So that is things with that.
Margaret's a little bastard, right? She becomes a little bastard, Margaret, right?
Oh yeah.
Right.
I particularly like Marin's speech where it was maybe in Act 2, can't remember what character she was reading at the time, which was basically, okay, guys, this is complicated.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you it all so you can put it all in context. And we basically got the history of England up to this point.
Yeah, it was Mortimer, I think.
Kitty, you wanted to say something? Yeah.
Yeah, what happened to the Countess of Auvergne?
She's only got the one scene.
I don't remember doing it. Did I do it?
We have a lot of people who come in for little bits. They have their little bit, and then that's it. And
in part, is this due to the fact that you've got that it may well be a patch of various people's work?
I think so. I think that is likely. Because it is sort of, it's really the heartrending scene with Talbot and his son, but then all of these rhymed couplets going on throughout.
Oh, I know. Oh, God, yes.
Really kind of nuts.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Lovely Talbot. I loved it.
He's good.
It's really, so much of this is Talbot's
I gotta
plays.
go.
Okay.
Bye, Kitty.
Thank you, Kitty.
Okay,
Good
thank you.
to see you.
Bye.
Just before you go, I wanted to ask how many people might be available for Edmund Ironside. I know that Eleanor and Kitty and
Jackie's available.
yes.
Is it online or is it in person?
It's on Zoom.
Ed might be able to do it.
I'm available.
Count me in.
Yes, Jackie,
Next
thank you.
Saturday.
Count me
Derek?
in.
Next Saturday.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I'm in for that.
I don't
Okay,
think
cool.
I can. I don't know that I can do that one.
Okay.
All right, man.
Yeah, we have that one next Saturday, and
You don't know what you're missing, Marin.
then the following
There's
Saturday.
a lot
will
of
be our
characters in that play. Whoa.
Yeah.
The histories, they've got casts of thousands. It's the same.
Hey, part 2. Henry VI part 2 is like.
I got confused
huge
trying to
cast.
change my name on the
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
trying to keep up with it. Oh,
I
God.
know it's tough
Why
when my
don't you turn off the YouTube?
What I just want to say, we're still live streaming and recording, and I just wanted to say that this is that we do have a bunch of things coming up on Zoom, and we'll be in person again. I guess the next one in person will be up at Much Ado About Nothing at Bloomingdale on May 9th, and then May 16th we have The Merry Wives that Jackie will be playmastering.
Right. So all of you you can write to me if you're going to be in it, and then I will pick people who I think is, you can let me know what, and I'll play around with it.
Yeah. And so
What are you doing, Jackie?
Oh, I'm doing Merry Wives of Windsor.
Count me in, okay?
Is that a live one or is
A
it?
live one. That's a live one. Yeah.
Oh no.
yeah.
No. Right. You can't do it.
I'm only doing Zoom ones.
Okay. Well, I'm going to stop the live stream then. So thank you all very much. Thank you. And if you want to know more about